man. Scary times, right? I don't think that anyone is surprised right now, but yeah, we got a problem on our hands, right? Those of you guys that voted for Donald Trump to be more of a peacetime type president, end the wars, reduce conflict, uniter in chief, so to speak. Yeah, that's all gone, unfortunately. A lot of the hopes that I had when I put my Trump flag on my home for the last year, up to his winning the election. I had a lot of high hopes, man. Like I've been deceived in so many ways, and it's just wildly frustrating, And as an American who just wants to make money, right? I just want to make cool furniture for people. I want my business to thrive, and I just wanted some tax cuts and the ability to hire more people and teach people how to make furniture. Um, we're focused on all the wrong things. Like I don't know what you guys think, but man, I just we got some wild times. So what I want to go over is I want to go over some. I got some notes here on what's going on this morning. I want to give you guys some Trump quotes this morning, and then I want to put those quotes into context because what you guys are going to hear at this point is just an insane amount of propaganda. The propaganda on this issue is going to be through the roof, and you're already seeing it. And thank God we have sites like X where you can at least move through the propaganda a little bit. If you guys remember what happened in Iraq, I mean, I was one of those people, like when the Twin Towers were hit, I literally signed up for the army within a month. I was ready to go off to war. I was ready to go kill terrorists. And this doesn't feel like that. So when America goes to war, it has to be for a real reason. I don't know if you guys remember 2001, how galvanized the country was and how we were ready to go just decimate all. And that's what you need when you go to war. And we just don't have this right now. This feels like a war for another country other than America. And I'll go through, I got lots of notes, so we're going to go through all these kind of things. But anyway, you guys on the stream, I appreciate you being here. The channel here is Modern Woodrunner. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a small furniture boutique company. We make about 500 pieces a year. We are known for our high gloss lacquer coating. And we have about 8 employees. We do a couple mil in revenue, and it's a good little middle class business. And I talk to people about the furniture industry. I talk about how to make money in the furniture industry, but we also talk about current events because we're real people, right? One of the golden rules in business is that you don't talk politics, you don't talk current events because you don't want to alienate your customers. I'm a little bit different in that regard. So with that said, let's go over what Donald Trump's been saying so far this morning. And again, guys, propaganda is the ultimate tool of anybody that goes to war. You have to get your people on board, and Trump is a master of propaganda. And again, good for him. No shade against this guy, but let's start here. So the first thing I wrote down that he said is Iran will never again threaten America with nuclear weapons. Okay, so this is a statement that, again, sounds great on paper, but Iran has never threatened America with nuclear weapons. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. So when he says this kind of stuff, he's being deceitful and dishonest at best, okay? The truth is that Iran isn't even close to America, right? And again, they'll say, oh, well, it's our allies, all this. And again, if we say that, then we could attack any country in the world, right? But look at North Korea. North Korea is much closer to America than Iran. In fact, it's half the distance from Iran. Again, North Korea has nuclear weapons. They're not a problem. They haven't been a problem because the truth is that when a country gets a nuclear weapon, nobody messes with them, right? So unfortunately, Iran is just one of these countries. It didn't get nuclear weapons in time. It wasn't part of the NPT. And truth is that it's going to get taken over, right? And we're going to look at all the countries that Israel and America have been involved in over in the Middle East. And what you guys are going to understand is that every country that Israel or America attacks on behalf of Israel or vice versa falls into ruin. Okay, I got all the numbers right here. We're going to look at countries like Syria, Lebanon. We're going to look at Libya. We're going to look at I just got a whole list of them. Right, they're all failed. Okay, this is not good. Right, we're supposed to leave a world better than when we started, right? And we're not doing that. We just go into these countries, we destroy them, and then they're a failed state, right? And if you guys look at what Mike Huckabee said in this Tucker Carlson interview, this guy actually believes that Israel should essentially take over the entire Middle East. They believe this from a biblical standpoint, which is really wild, guys. Like, again, I don't know if you're religious. I'm not a religious guy, but I know crazy when I hear crazy. And if Mike Huckabee, who's supposed to represent America, is talking like he talks about Israel, that's a problem. That means that the country of Israel believes a lot of this likely too. And that's a major problem for anybody that is in the Middle East. That means the Middle East is never going to be stable until Israel has collected all of these states for itself and broadened the scope of its country. So we got big problems here. I think we got, like I said, we got megalomaniac problems in Donald Trump. We got religious problems in the state of Israel, and we've got a propaganda network in Fox News, in X, in CNN. All these people want to go to war, okay? Donald Trump was supposed to be the person that would get us out of conflicts. He ran on being the guy that got us out of all these wars. He's not doing it, so he's going the opposite direction. So the people that voted for Trump have been wildly deceived. That's why I titled this thing, The Deceiver in Chief. Because again, as a Trump supporter, I'm wildly frustrated with what I'm seeing today. Okay, so we got people in the comments. Yeah, again, leg lengths. Okay, yeah, because of Iran. Okay, I don't know what, not sure what because of Iran is. Okay, and again, Iran is a country that has a lot of problems, right? But again, every country has problems, right? Like, you can't just pick on this one country because you say they supposedly have nuclear weapons. Okay, why did Trump go over there and bomb all those nuclear sites? There was Fordo and whatever. I forget all the names of them. But the point is that when he went over there and did that, was he successful or not? Because he sure talked like he was successful, which is vintage Trump, right? But now we have an entire Navy over there. We have massive amounts of military buildup over there. And for what? I thought we went over and did that strike to do what we needed to do. Well, now apparently it wasn't enough, okay? So I gave you Trump's first thing, right? Talking about Iran will never be threatened by America with nuclear weapons. Iran has never threatened America with nuclear weapons. I'm sorry to tell you guys, this has never been a thing, okay? Iran has threatened Israel with nuclear weapons, right? I think everyone knows that. But the destabilizing factor in the Middle East is, in fact, Israel. It is not Iran, right? Iran is a problem. I'm not saying it's not. But Israel has crushed every country within that region, okay? So you guys need to understand. Okay, next statement Donald Trump said, take back your country, meaning Iran, and rebuild it, right? So again, Trump's saying we're going to crush we're going to crush Iran's government, we're going to crush their military. The Iranian people need to take the country back and rebuild it, okay? Well, if we go to all the countries that Israel and America have destroyed in the Middle East, we need to go through exactly what's happened to all these countries, okay? So if you guys look at Syria, right? My cabinet maker is from Syria, right? So he's from there. He knows all about Bershad, right? He knows all about this guy. He came over to Germany as a refugee from Syria, came to America. He is now an American citizen, a bona fide naturalized citizen, okay? He told me how crazy Syria is. Syria is a wild place. It's massively destabilized because of the corruption within the government, okay? We went over there, we bombed this place to oblivion. Guess what? It's a failed state, okay? There is nothing about Syria that has become better than when we got there, okay? It's just as bad as it was, okay? This is a massive problem. And again, I'm going to go to my notes here. I want you guys to kind of understand exactly what is happening in these places because it's really bad, okay? It's very difficult to bring a country back from military devastation. It's wildly difficult. And plus, the Middle East is so much different from a political and a sociological standpoint than America. And this is the one thing that gets us in trouble every time. So, all right, so we got Syria completely destabilized. Libya, what happened to Libya, guys? Do you guys remember this one? So Libya is literally a failed state, all right? It has not come back. Nothing good has happened over there, okay? But their government was toppled, right? So again, massive problems there. We can look at Iraq. Iraq is trying to rebuild. It's also massively destabilized. Afghanistan, a failed state. It's no better than when we got there. Okay, other countries like Lebanon and Yemen. Okay, again, wildly destabilized, no better than when we got there. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen with Iran? Do you think Iran is going to be a better place than when we left it? No, I don't think so. The history does not suggest that when we go over and bomb these countries, that it's better for everyone. Okay, so again, if you watch X, if you watch Fox News, they are all going to be draped in the flag saying how amazing it is that we're over there. We're going to liberate the people, okay? Every time we go to one of these countries, guys, we do not liberate anyone. In fact, we make it worse, okay? Some of these places like Sudan and Darfur, these have the worst famines in the history of civilization. They're places that are just ruined when America and Israel go into these places, and that is actually the plan. Okay, we think we're going to make it better. It doesn't get better, right? We tried nation building in Iraq. We tried nation building in Afghanistan. Okay, are we going to try a nation build in Iraq? Because again, every place we go doesn't work. Okay, and then factor this in, guys. We're $38 trillion in debt, okay? $38 trillion in debt, guys. So where's this money going to come from? Again, when we send all these arms and all these planes, and again, we're like, oh, look at our fucking battle cruisers, right? We got the most amazing military ever, okay? Where's that money coming from, guys? Y'all are paying for it, okay? Right now, we pay $1 trillion a year in interest, okay? How much more interest do you guys want to pay? What happens when that interest gets up to 1.5 trillion, right? Are you guys willing to pay more taxes to pay for this debt? Because that's how you pay for all this stuff, guys. And I don't think you guys are willing to pay for it. Nobody wants to pay this debt. And again, every time we go over to the Middle East, I've told you guys this a million times at this point. Every time our military fires a missile in the Middle East, you guys are paying for it. Every time, okay? The money that we send to places like Egypt, to Israel, that money comes back to American military manufacturers. We make missiles, we make jets, we make bombs, we then send it back over there and those countries use it. So you're paying for the foreign aid. The foreign aid comes back to the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex gets fat tax cuts to make all that shit, right? So you guys are paying for this in so many ways. And I don't know what other way to convince the American people to stop these wars, to stop these conflicts, other than to try and hit you with the budget. Try and hit you in the checkbook because you guys do not understand what is happening. And again, these people wrap themselves in the flag and get you guys all worked up about America, fuck yeah. It's not really that way. Again, I was deceived when I tried to go into the military to go to Iraq. I know what happened. I'm glad they wouldn't let me in because I couldn't duck walk. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. This could be worse, right? It's not like, if you guys need some context here, we have to know about Iran. Iran is geographically 4 times the size of Iraq, okay? It's a massive country, okay? And their military is 6 times the size of Iraq, okay? So this is a big country, a lot of military, and guess what? Like Russia, Iran has an actual military-industrial complex, okay? This is very different than a lot of these places. This country is built for war, and they're ready for war. So will we be able just to go in there like Venezuela? Are we going to have have we got a little bit of this inferiority complex here in America? We're just going to go in and snatch these people, go kill a couple people, and then we're all going to come home? I don't think that's going to happen, right? It could happen. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I don't know if Iran has built up its propaganda system, and again, they look bigger than they really are. What do they say, paper tiger? I don't know if that's the case. But again, I don't think that we should be over there to try and find this out anyway. I don't think that it's in our interest to be over in the Middle East. I've told you guys before. Give me a few seconds, guys, and I'm going to get into comments real quick. I want to read you guys one more quote that Donald Trump said, and then I want to go over why we shouldn't be in the Middle East at all, okay? So here we go. Donald Trump says, the lives of Americans, the lives of American heroes may be lost, and that there may be casualties. This often happens in war, okay? That's very easy for someone to say who's never going to go over to war, right? It's very easy for someone to say who just has to give orders, right? And it used to be that when we went to war, the country went to war. Now what happens is essentially you got basically the poor go to war, the middle of the country goes to war, right? The people on the left coast, the people on the east coast, they don't go to war because they're rich, right? So the people that go to war are the poor, the downtrodden, and the people that need a leg up. The people like me, when I was going to go to war, in 2003, we went to Iraq, or maybe it was 2002, I forget when. But again, I didn't have a great career. I didn't have a lot going on in my life. So I thought, well, you know what? This thing happened. Why not go to the military? I'll go kill some terrorists. I'll go, fix some Humvees. This will be a lot of fun. I'll get some skills. I'll get the GI Bill and all these kind of things. And it's a massive lie, guys. You can't just send your country to war because you got the vibes, right? It feels good. You're going to go help, this country, that country. There's actual cost when you go to war. And again, why are we going over to war? Why are we going there? Like, I don't think that we're going there for an American interest, right? And if you guys look at the relevance of the Middle East as it pertains to oil, which is what everybody knows the Middle East for, the Middle East hasn't brought massive amounts of oil to America in over a decade, guys. Guess what? We get most of our oil from Canada. And I don't know if people know this. Get on Grok, Google this stuff, learn some shit, okay? Most of our oil comes from Canada. 50% of everything that we bring into America comes from Canada. 10% of our oil comes from Mexico, of all places. The amount of oil that we get from Saudi Arabia is 6%. All right, they're the main producer over in the Middle East. Now, people will say, well, Iran has a lot of reserves. Iran puts out 1,000,006 barrels a day, which means something. But again, because of hydraulic fracturing, we produce more oil here in America than anybody else in the world at this point. We're doing 13 million barrels a day. So the relevance of going over to the Middle East doesn't make any sense, right? Unless maybe Israel has something on Donald Trump. Maybe Israel has something on this country. And again, you couple this with the Epstein files. Now we're getting into major conspiracy stuff going on. And again, Donald Trump has escaped these files, right, for the most part. But everyone in his administration, everyone in this guy's orbit seems to be dirty. A lot of these people are coming up, and you're seeing that we're starting to stack bodies as it pertains to the Epstein files. People are starting to fall, and we got major things going on here. I'm not trying to go into conspiracy on this thing, but it seems awfully odd to me that a country that has almost no relevance is literally dictating what America does. It does not make any sense, guys. And if you look at what's happened with the Ellisons buying up all of Paramount, the Ellisons buying up TikTok, the amount of influence the country of Israel literally has in America and all of our institutions of higher learning, our movie industry, our media industry, our military-industrial complex at this point. It's the amount of money through institutions like AIPAC. They fund 94% of all of our politicians' campaigns, okay? The influence this country has is very questionable and very suspect. So let's go into comments real quick. Like I said, I got a million notes, guys. And again, I see you guys sending in gifts. Anybody that sends in gifts, I really appreciate it. I'll try and get to your comments. If you want your comment read right away, get into super chats. We're going to talk all morning about this issue. So I'm here for the long haul this morning. I'm putting together a CNC router today. That's what I'm supposed to do. But thanks, Donald Trump. I appreciate you. I appreciate the tax cut so I can buy my CNC router. But I would have rather not gone to war, not had a CNC. So anyway, let's dig into it. So everyone, guys, I'm sorry we're going into war. This is not good. And again, watch for the people that are draping themselves in the flags, guys. When you get on X, like when they're talking about all this America, fuck yeah, like don't fall for the propaganda, guys. Like I said, I'm 46 years old. I remember when we went into Iraq, you know, oh, they've got yellow cake, right? And again, the same thing with Iran. Oh, they're about to get a bomb. It's like, well, we have to kind of question exactly what our media is telling us, especially what our government is telling us, because they want this war so goddamn bad, guys, that I don't know if you guys understand how badly they need a war. Our government needs, Donald Trump is failing on every single issue that he ran on, guys. The mass deportations, he turned tail and run on those, right? He got tax cuts, of course. Didn't really help small business as much, but he definitely got tax cuts for the large corporations, okay? These were pillars of what he ran on. He's not getting them. He closed the border? Absolutely. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. But the guy is losing hardcore on this Epstein issue. And again, his cabinet is literally starting to fall. Anyone that is in Donald Trump's orbit, if you guys haven't noticed this, they're all starting to fall, guys. You are seeing tons of people in Europe going down, right? How long till that makes it over here to America where everyone in Donald Trump's orbit is going to go down in these Epstein files? You're going to find out there's a lot of wicked shit going on here. And again, it's probably Israel, the CIA, the FBI, our Department of Justice, and probably MI6 over in Britain that have literally created this honeypot structure that is blackmailing our government. Like I said, it's wild conspiracy, guys, but that's where I'm at on that issue. So let's go. All right, we got Aaron Evans in here. Aaron Evans, nice leg lamp. Yep, thanks, dude. It's an official leg lamp, you know. This is who you want to get your war information from, the guy that's a woodworker and has a leg lamp, okay? So, but again, be careful, guys, of the propagandists in the military. And again, it's the worst on Fox News. I remember it in 2000, the early 2000s when we went into Iraq. I remember it going into Afghanistan. They're going to greet us as liberators. We're going to turn Iraq into a functioning democracy. Afghanistan can't wait to have Starbucks, okay? It's all bullshit, guys. There's nothing good about going to war in the Middle East anymore. Again, when we had oil over there, we needed cheap oil. That was one thing. But here's the thing, guys. We're getting all of our oil from our neighbors now. And guess what? Oil isn't cheap like it used to be. So again, when they tell you, oh, we're going to get the price down by going to Venezuela and snatching their leader and bringing more oil onto the market, we're going to get more oil by going to the Middle East and making it safer for everyone, right? We want to basically, what do they say? We want to not, goddamn, there's a word for it. It's escaping me right at the moment. But we're basically going to make sure that the Middle East is nice and calm so we can bring that oil over here, okay? Oil is not cheap anymore, guys. I hate to tell you this, but it's no longer 30 bucks a barrel, okay? Oil right now is $72 a barrel. The oil companies want it to stay around $60 and $80 a barrel, okay? So this idea that oil is going to come back to $2 a gallon, 99 cents a gallon when I moved to Kansas a long time ago, like those days are over. So when they tell you that stabilizing the Middle East is going to be good for oil prices, they're lying, okay? They are absolutely lying. And again, when they tell you that, oh, we got to defend our allies, okay? Israel does nothing for Americans, right? It does something for the American government by giving them intelligence. It does nothing for Americans, okay? They have no oil. They manufacture fuck all. They do nothing for this country, yet they get all of our attention, okay? We trade $1 trillion with Mexico, okay? We get something like, I want to say it's like $50 billion a year from Saudi Arabia in oil, which seems like a very small number, and it is when you compare it to what we get from Canada and what we get from Mexico, okay? This region in the world is no longer as influential as it used to be. And if there's one thing I can impart to you guys at this point, it is that, okay? They're going to try and tell you that, oh, we go defend our allies. We defend our allies. We defend our allies. We care about the people that are repressed, right? We told the people that, they said that Iran's been killing protesters. Again, there's no evidence of any of this, which I'm not saying it didn't happen. But when our government tells us all these things, think about Sudan. Think about Darfur. Think about the entire fucking continent of Africa, okay? If we're so humanitarian, how come we aren't going and helping these people, okay? It used to be for oil. Everyone would say, well, it's oil, which made sense to me because we were getting 30% of our oil from Saudi Arabia, right? Iraq was going to bring more oil online. It would make sense. But again, we're not getting that shit anymore, guys. It's coming from Canada. It's coming from Mexico. So what other reason would we send our entire Navy over to the Middle East, okay? It's to protect this one little country that has less than 10 million people in it, that has the landmass the size of New Jersey, okay? The numbers don't make sense, guys. And again, if you're a taxpayer, if you're somebody that really cares about human life, this doesn't make any sense, guys. Like, again, as someone who kind of understands this thing called the pecking order, right? This is where you don't fuck with the guy that can beat the shit out of you. This one little country is fucking with everybody because, again, it has a big bully behind it, and it can just talk shit in perpetuity. And again, how long has Israel been saying that Iran is 95% to having a nuclear weapon? Okay, it's 35 years, guys. Like, you have to believe that the propaganda is real. And if you can't come to grips with the fact that this country has been saying this forever, if you don't call them out, eventually the lies become reality. Like, eventually this stuff will become true if you say it long enough. And again, nobody's been willing to say, at least in our government, you know what, Israel, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear your bullshit anymore. We're tired of your bellicose rhetoric. We're tired of you guys fucking with everyone in the region. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, again, I'm sorry, guys. I have so much information on this. Is a topic that I didn't know a lot about until maybe a year ago, and I really started looking into it, okay? Israel is able to operate in a wildly different way than everybody else in the Middle East, okay? They're allowed to have nuclear weapons. They're allowed to have ballistic missiles. They're allowed to have, they're not part of the NPT, the Non-Proliferation Agreement, right? They don't have to have atomic energy inspections on them, yet everybody else do. One of the reasons that we're in Iran right now is because Iran is in the NPT, right? Because Iran is subject to all the IAEA inspections, and they're not adhering to them. The country that is literally bombing them right now is subject to none of those. It's a wild double standard. And again, I don't think people understand how fucked up this is. Israel is literally supposed to be tried for genocide, right? The Hague is going after Benjamin Netanyahu for genocide in Gaza, but America essentially vetoes it every single time. Anytime any other country in the world wants to go after Israel or hold Israel accountable, right, America always vetoes it. America's always there protecting this little fucking agitator. And again, I got no problems with Israel in general. What I have a problem with is it seems like America is always coming to their defense. For some reason, this little tiny country has this massive stranglehold on America, whether it's through our media, through our education system, whether it's through paying our politicians, whether it's through buying up all of our media institutions, whether it's through buying up all of our social media. Again, Zuckerberg owns Meta, right? Instagram and Facebook. Now you got Larry Ellison owning TikTok. The only fucking platform that is left is Elon Musk. He's the only guy that has any kind of control, and it's the only platform where you can literally say almost anything you want. Okay? It's the only one that's still free, right? So there's this massive stranglehold on this country by this one little country. And again, I got no problems with Jews. Like, I got a lot of clients. Most of my clients are probably Jewish. Jews don't act this way. I've never heard Jews talk the way that Israel talks. There's something about this place I can't wrap my head around. So anyway, let's keep going into comments again. Sorry, guys. This is, again, as someone who wanted to go into the military, I'm a big advocate for veterans. I don't like to see our veterans potentially have to go to war for a country for which I will never go to where 99.9% of Americans will never go, couldn't find it on a map. And again, for a region that, again, does not benefit America anymore, for a region that, again, nobody's going to Iran to vacation. No one's going to Abu Dhabi to vacation. No one is going to Saudi Arabia to vacation. And again, America talks about, oh, we're spreading democracy, democracy this, democracy, democracy. We, again, drape ourselves in the flag. Yes, Israel is a democracy, but they also love abortion. They have free health care. They have all the shit that we don't have here in America that we fight about constantly. We're willing to overlook all that stuff. Again, America loves fucking communist countries, right? Again, China makes all of our shit. Vietnam makes all of our shit. You don't see us saying, hey, you know what? You motherfuckers need to be a little bit more democratic. Otherwise, we're not going to make all of our stuff over there, right? Because what we love more than anything is money, right? We love capitalism. And here's the truth, guys. Capitalism, and again, I say this as a business owner, capitalism is literally a cancer by definition. Without growth and without expansion, capitalism ceases to exist, right? So again, we need places to put more Starbucks. We need more places to put, like they talked about Gaza, resorts, right? We need more places to put Hilton hotels. You know, maybe we'll put a fucking Hyatt on there, right? Hyatt's a great company. Apparently, Tom Pritzker, the CEO of there, apparently loved to fuck little kids. Like, so apparently, maybe we're going to put all that stuff over. I mean, we just love these kind of companies, right? We love these kind of people. It's so frustrating, guys. Okay, all right, here we go. Zach Bonds, looks like a gay problem. Okay, cool, man. Thanks for the comment. Again, if you guys in the stream, hit the like button on the discussion. Let's open this thing. Let's get to a lot of people. This is a very important topic, guys. And again, I think we need perspective from people who aren't in media. Okay, media are going to be the people that are going to tell you guys, they're going to give you the bellicose rhetoric. They're going to drape themselves in the flag, and they're going to try and convince you guys that this is what we need to do. This is the way, and I'm here to tell you guys this is not the way. Donald Trump is potentially going to put this country in a very bad spot. Come midterms, you guys understand this, midterms are 9 months away, guys, right? You think that people are going to vote for Republicans if they go in the situation, just, again, draping themselves in the flag, this bellicose rhetoric, you know, we're going to liberate Iran. Do you think people are going to vote for Republicans? I don't think they are. And again, that means we got to go back to what I wrote down here. Like, here's your options. And again, I'm sorry, guys, I don't have enough. I've got so many notes here. I want you guys to understand what you're getting when you go from Republican to Democrat, right? Because they both love war. They all want war, okay? What you're getting right now you're looking at a technocracy with the Republican control. You got technocracy, you got wars, you got the wealth gap is growing between everyone, you got corporate tax cuts. This is what you're getting on the Republican side, okay? If you guys vote Democrat because of this war situation, if the American people, you know, decide they want to go a different route than Donald Trump, they want to constrain his power by limiting who's in government that's a Republican, you're going to end up with tribunals, right? They're essentially going to try everyone in this government for war crimes. They're going to try and impeach everyone. That includes Trump, right? You're going to see tons of impeachments, nothing but litigation. You're going to see massive wealth taxes in this country. They're going to try to take every dollar from the producers and give to the non-producers because it's good for votes, right? We're going to promote mediocrity, right? We're going to promote being normal. We're going to promote being average, okay? This is bad for society, okay? You're going to promote lawlessness, right? Because again, Democrats and liberals, they fucking hate it when you hold people accountable, right? Again, California, you got to basically rob over $1,000 to go into jail. And even if you do go to jail, odds are some fucking judge is going to let you out, right? So you're going to get that, right? You're going to get more EPA, more OSHA. You're going to get more social engineering, okay? So there is no good choices here. And this war is the thing that both sides want, okay? So again, you think that, you know, by limiting Republican power, it's going to lead to less war. No, you're just going to vote the Democrats in, and they're going to take all your money and promote lawlessness and degeneracy through things like transgenderism and letting men go into women's bathrooms and things like that. There is no good scenario here, guys. So, all right, keep going through comments. Again, we've got, this is Gen X Pilot 69. Yes, it will be. Each country is different. Okay, Fabian Pedelia, I guess 7381. Imagine voting for this shit, bro. Yeah, again, I voted for Trump, guys, and like I said, I've been disappointed almost every step. Again, I voted for mass deportations. I voted for the rule of law as it is written. You want to change the rule of law, then Congress needs to do its job. And again, another thing you guys need to understand is that how the fuck is this military able to go over there right now? Again, there's no declaration of war from Congress. And the truth is that Trump can go over there for up to 90 days and just bomb a country without congressional approval. You know, so that's what this guy did. His goal is to go over there, do this thing for a month or two, and then come home. That's his plan. Otherwise, he's got to go to Congress and get a declaration of war. And I don't think it's going to happen. The American people do not support this. I don't know anybody in our country that supports this other than neocon fucking boomers. That's it. I don't know why we're doing this. It makes zero sense to me. And the only thing I come with, it's a distraction, guys. Like, again, Trump's administration has just been a fucking disaster, and war resets everything, you know? So okay, all right, let's go. Democrats do the same. Yep, Gen X pilot, I agree with you 100%. You're saying exactly what I'm saying. Orson, Levia 3034, Leffel, is that the leg lamp from Christmas? Hell yeah, it's the leg lamp from Christmas. I'm always surprised at how many people come into these streams and they're like, oh my God, you have the Christmas Christmas story leg lamp. And yep, I got it, man. It's official. Okay, let's see here. We got Jet Pilot. We got NATO Sinem, who promised he'll make it better. Who promised they'll make it better? I don't know who is. Fabian Padilla 7381. Okay, buddy. You people own this trash. I know, and again, I say this as I voted for Trump. I'm part of the problem technically. Not that Kamala would have been any better, but I think that war would have happened either way, whether Kamala was in here or Trump was in here. The problem with Trump is Trump suffers from megalomania, meaning if he cannot get what he wants in his reality, he will rearrange the world to make his reality real. This is what megalomaniacs do, and this dude is just insufferable. Okay, this is Fabian Padilla again, 7381. No new wars, my ass. I know Trump was supposed to be the guy that brought things to a close. He was supposed to, end the Israel-Gaza conflict, end the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And again, the only reason Trump can take any credit for the Israel's war because Israel won. They just carpet bombed that entire area. They're getting ready to go in there with bulldozers, and they're going to put in resorts and hotels and things for the rich. Right? You think the poor are going to benefit from that? The poor are literally going to serve these people over there, and they're going to call it progress. It's bad situation, guys. All right. Again, if you guys are in the stream, hit the like button, add to the discussion. We're talking about Donald Trump, the liar in chief, the guy that is trying to bring us to war with another country to distract from what is happening here in America, all the failed policies, all the lies of this guy, and why he is not doing what he said he was going to do. Trump could literally go down as one of the greatest presidents in history if he would have just done what he ran on. Right? Because if Trump would have done what he ran on, if he had been doing mass deportations right now, Congress would have been forced to change our immigration laws. Everyone says, oh, we want more immigration in here. We need more people to adjudicate the immigrants. We need to get more visas going. We need more whatever this, more whatever that. Congress could have done it by doing its job if Trump would have been doing the mass deportations, but he just wouldn't do it. He bitched out, and therefore Congress doesn't have to do anything. And again, we just go back to this fucking seesaw that I'm always telling you guys about, okay? So again, Trump's going to lose in the midterms, big time, right? Probably going to get a Democrat president coming in. And guess what? The borders are going to open back up, right? So we're going to go from one president closing the borders, another president opening them up. Closing, opening, closing, and opening. And again, Congress never has to change the immigration laws. And this is the problem. So anyway, all right, let's keep going. Again, if you guys are in the stream this morning, war in Iran started, and I'm sorry, guys. I voted for Trump, and God damn it, I just cannot. I'm so disappointed with this man. And again, let me know your guys' thoughts. Again, if you're in the stream, hit the like button. Okay, Fabian Padilla, 8381. What happened to no new wars? I know, dude, man. I'm so sorry. It's bad news. Gander in flight. Trump is the GOAT. Okay, again, I like Trump, but he's been a wildly disappointing. And again, what happened to politicians doing what they run on, right? Like, I keep Trump's platform when he ran for president, and he's not been very good, I don't know if this is just going to be the new normal, like presidents and people that run for politics just don't have to do what they say they're going to do. Like, do we just... Anyway, okay, the first Avengers in here. Matt, I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, MAGA equals every accusation is a confession. Boy, there's something to that, man. Okay, Fabian Padilla, 7381, true. NATO, Sinium, how about Ukraine? Yeah, again, you guys notice we haven't heard about Ukraine in a long time. And again, YouTube doesn't want you to talk about that war. They've literally... There's an icon we have to check when we become monetized. It basically says that we're not going to talk about that in a like a disparaging fashion or something like that. And again, it's the same thing when you talk about the Israel conflict. You got to be real careful about distinguishing between Jews and Israel. And again, most of us that know anything about Jews understand that Israel is wildly different than Jews. They are not the same. These are very different groups of things. But you have to talk about the two kind of together when you talk about these countries. And same thing with this Russia-Ukraine conflict. Got to be very careful how you talk to it on YouTube. They will literally shadow ban your content. They will close it down. And again, I've told you guys, I literally just did a rant. You guys want to see an epic rant? Go watch the video I did yesterday talking about how YouTube has basically throttled the amount of people that are seeing my stream now that I'm monetized, because what they want to do is they want to be able to show it to advertisers. And when you talk about Israel, you talk about Ukraine, you talk about Russia, you talk about anything that is unpalatable, you use profanity, you use slang, they don't want any of it. And so they throttle it on purpose to get you to operate in this little tiny box. And so I won't do it. I don't need the money. So, okay, this is Bod Skatra, is that right? Iran is Persian. They may have better IQ. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know that much about Iran. My furniture maker, guys, I tell you guys, my furniture maker is from Syria, right? He's worked for me for about 5 years, and he literally was a refugee from Syria when America went over there and started bombing the shit out of that place, right? So he and his family fled to Germany, right? They spent years in Germany being refugees, right? They then got visas to come to America. They got an asylum. He came to America and he started working for me very young. He hardly spoke any English, and he worked his way through the process. He's now an American citizen, right? Which is pretty cool. This is what we want. We want these people to come here, bring their skills, bring their talents, and come to America and make money, be great Americans, and help push this country forward. He's a fantastic example of what an immigrant is supposed to do when they come to America. He went through the process. It sucked. But when you listen to this guy talk about America, and you listen to this guy talk about what we did over there in Syria, he understands exactly what happened over there. He believes that the administration in Syria was literally repressing all the people. When America came in there and ousted Bashar al-Assad, it was good for the country, but he can't go back because it's still unsafe. He wants to go back, but he can't. He can't go back there as an American because those people fucking hate our guts. And this is one of the things that I don't think enough people pay attention to, is that when America goes into these countries and starts killing all the people, they tell you, oh, we're killing politicians, we're killing the military, we're fighting. What they end up doing is they end up killing a shit ton of civilians, right? So again, everyone in these countries hates our fucking guts. So when they tell you we're going to be greeted as liberators, ain't fucking happening, because we do more damage in these places than we fix, right? It's just, it's how it works, guys. It's very sad. Okay, Buff Cheeks 80085. So just let them build, soy boy take. Yeah, and again, like, dude, again, I don't, if Israel wants a bomb, or Israel has a bomb, if Iran wants a bomb and they're really making bombs, and again, 35 years we've been hearing the propaganda about Iran getting a bomb, right? Again, if they want a bomb and they want to go fight with Israel, like, again, I'm completely okay with it. I don't need the Middle East. Let those fucking people destroy themselves. I'm here in America, right? Again, all of our oil comes from our neighbors, guys. You have to understand this. The Middle East is not what it used to be. The Middle East literally bathed itself in American money while it raked us over the fucking coals on oil, okay? Now, these guys haven't done anything to grow their economies, right? They're all monarchies over there, right? It's not like these guys have created democracies, right? America loves democracies. There are no democracies in the Middle East except Israel, right? And again, Israel is the massive agitator over in this area. And I'm sorry to say it, but it's just the truth. And again, we can, again, drape ourselves in the flag and talk about we love democracy. But again, we've propped up everybody that's not a democracy, guys. America is just, we are the most hypocritical country that I've ever known. Again, you guys love cheap shit from China, communist country. You love cheap shit from Vietnam, socialist country, right? You guys love all the fucking oil that comes from the Middle East. They're all monarchies, guys. They're all monarchies, okay? We can't continue to operate this way. And again, talk about how we defend capitalism, right? We defend the people that want to be free. We do not do this, guys. All we care about is cheap labor and cheap oil, okay? And guess what? There ain't no fucking cheap oil in the Middle East anymore. It all comes from Canada. It all comes from Mexico. So get your guys' minds right. And again, when people try and tell you that, oh, we need the Middle East, we need the Middle East for what? What do we need the Middle East for? And again, not to say that I don't want to see people get injured. I don't want to see people be repressed. I don't want to see, governments repressing their people. I don't want to see any of that shit. But the truth is that every time we go over there, we don't make it better. We make it worse. The only thing that works in that region are strongmen and monarchies. That's it. So we just got to get right with the way reality really is. All right, let's see. So Nate and Sinem, okay, their people are ready to revolt. And again, where's all the information about people getting ready to revolt? Guess what? Americans are getting fucking ready to revolt. Are you kidding me? You're talking about what? The reports are that the Iranians killed, what, like 7,000 protesters, okay? Have you guys seen any video? Have you seen any real credible information other than Fox News and maybe our government? I don't hold those people credible anymore. Again, I lived through Iraq. I lived through Afghanistan. I volunteered to go to war. Okay. And again, they lied to all of us. So do you really believe that people are oppressed in Iran? People were oppressed in Syria. People were oppressed in Libya. People were oppressed in Lebanon. People are oppressed all over the place. But again, that's justification to go to war. That's justification to go bomb a country into, carpet bomb a country into oblivion. Because what we do is we create more enemies than we save, right? It's a, I don't know how to convince you guys at this point. Like, people that buy this shit are they're delusional. They're absolutely delusional. Okay, this is SMR 0502. Iranians are celebrating. Iran killed 40. Again, here you go. Again, show me. Put a link in the text. I want to know where this is. And again, I'm not saying these people are repressed, and I'm saying these governments are awful. I believe that they are. They're all terrible. I just know that every place that we go doesn't make it worse. And again, I have an actual Syrian cabinet maker that, again, told me exactly how it went down in Syria because he was there. All right, it is not how you guys were told that shit went down. And again, when we go in this, it doesn't get any better, okay? When they say repression, fucking America's repressed, okay? When they talk about, oh, we're going to make it better over there, okay, we need to make America better. We got major problems here, right? We got veterans on the street. We got more fucking poor people than we've ever had. The gap between the poor and the rich is only getting bigger, you guys. AI is wiping out white-collar jobs. Your businesses and your government allowed all of your jobs to be sent to the third world. We built up the third world and literally created our enemy. Okay, you guys have to see how this works. Like, if you want to protect jobs in America and you want to create a better way of life for people in America, you have to actually protect jobs in America, right? And again, we don't want to do that. We don't want to, and we just go and distract and distract and distract, and we print money at infinitum, guys. We print money at infinitum to distract all of you people. And if we can't get what we want, like if we can't give more poor people money, if we can't give tax cuts to corporations, we just print and print and print and print. Debt means nothing, guys. Accountability means nothing. And again, we're talking about Iranian, the Iranian people are repressed and we need to go liberate them. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, we got a whole country here that needs to be liberated that is being fucking oppressed, right? You guys ever heard of this thing called the Patriot Act, right? Do you guys like going to fucking TS every day and getting, pat down by some fucking randos? Do you like not being able to have your family go to the airport with you? Like, do you think this situation is getting better? Do you like that digital money is essentially going to control your guys' lives, right? Cash is being destroyed so that they can literally create credit scores, social scores. Like, do you guys like this kind of stuff? America is repressed. America needs help. All right, let's keep going. To give you guys a stream of the like button, add discussion. We're talking about Iran. We're talking about our government. We're talking about Donald Trump being the deceiver in chief. We're talking about where this country is going to go. And I got tons of facts. If I ever get to them, I'm going to go through your comments. We're going to keep running through this stuff. But I'm very hot about this situation. I think a lot of Americans are hot. There aren't many Americans that want this war, guys. This is not a popular topic. We got a lot of issues here in America we need to deal with. And Donald Trump isn't doing them. In fact, he's tried to work on America. He's failed. And therefore, he's going to go someplace else, which should wildly piss all of you off, okay? Because you're paying for it. All right, Demaze119, you remind me of Kane from RoboCop 2. I like that guy. I like that actor. He's a great actor, by the way. Gangsta Mind 187. Trump isn't sending Barrett out there. Yeah, and again, this is the thing I'm telling you guys. Every time America goes to war, and I know this because I volunteered to go to war when we did Iraq. I literally was like, I'm going to go kill terrorists. I'm going to save America. I'm going to protect the homeland. It didn't work out that way, guys. We created more terrorists than we killed. And this is what happens every time the government says, we created more people that hate America than we liberated that like America, right? It's so frustrating. And again, Trump's kids aren't going to war. Pete Hegseth's kids aren't going to war. Pam Bondi's kids aren't going to war. Fucking Marco Rubio, his kids aren't going to war. The only people that are going to go to war are going to be the corn-fed, middle of America, flyover country guys. Those are the guys that are going to go to war. The women, you think the women are fucking going to war? They want equality. Like, again, they're not going to fucking war because they're worthless in situations like this. It's not going to happen. It's young men that go to war. And again, we create more enemies than the juice is not worth the squeeze in these cases, guys. And again, we don't use the Middle East the way that we used to. This isn't fucking 2001 anymore, guys. We're not getting 30% of our oil from one country over in the Middle East called Saudi Arabia. 50% of the oil now comes from just Canada. You know, we do not need to be there, guys. And I need you guys to understand that it's not about the war. It's not about the bombs. It's the lack of relevance of the Middle East, unless you're this little tiny country with 9.6 million people called Israel. Okay, that's what we're over there for. And we're being deceived and we're being lied to. And again, the things that we voted for Donald Trump to do when we voted this guy into office, he's done almost none of them, guys. And it's wildly frustrating. And every time Trump tries to do something that he ran on, he gets crazy pushback and he runs. What do they call it? Taco? He turns tail and it's so frustrating, everyone. I hope you guys can hear the frustration in my voice. Again, but whatever. Okay, Nate Seaman, Iran does not need a leg up. Yeah, that's a good one, dude. I appreciate that one. All right, Fabian Padilla, 3781. Trump dodged the draft with his bow and spurs. He's an ultra-rich pansy. Again, but that's every rich person, dude. Like, you can't just single out Trump. Again, anyone can avoid. And if people have to go to the military, they always go to the National Guard, which is the last people to be called in to do any kind of a war, right? Because the National Guard's for America, you know, unless you're talking about draft situations. So again, every rich person gets out of it. It's not just Donald Trump. All right, SMR 0502. What do you say about Iranian people celebrating today? Again, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if they're celebrating. It doesn't matter to me because again, this is, what are we, 8 hours into this thing? Like, what, you want to judge an entire war on 8 hours of supposedly people celebrating? Again, I just told you I have a Syrian furniture maker that works for me who was there when the Syrian war started, right? The war that Israel and America promoted over there. Again, ask him what really happened over the day. It is not going to get better for the Syrian people, right? Just because Bashar al-Assad is gone, okay? The American people fucking the Syrian people hate America, okay? Again, every country over there that we supposedly liberated is just as repressed as when we got there, is way more poor than when we got there. They are literally teetering on collapse. And we say that we're victorious. We're not, guys. And again, this is a region of the world that America does not need to be in. It does not need to be there, guys. I'm sorry to say, it doesn't need to happen, okay? So yeah, so what do you say about the Iranian people celebrating? Again, I think it's all propaganda. And of course, there's gonna be people that are gonna celebrate, dude. Like, you're a fool if you don't think that people are gonna be happy about this. Of course they're gonna be happy. The question is, what happens afterwards? And I'm here to tell you guys, if we look at the history of all the countries that they toppled over there, they've all been bad. There's not one success. Not one. The only country that has done better in the Middle East as a result of our conflicts is Israel. That's it. There's no other country, you know? Saudi Arabia was fine. Saudi Arabia can take care of itself. Kuwait is fine. Kuwait can take care of itself, right? Jordan's fine. Jordan can take care of itself, right? The UAE, United Arab Emirates, right? They can take care of themselves. Everyone over there can take care of themselves. There is no need for America to be there, right? If America wants to sell weapons to the rest of the world, great, sell weapons. But we're not going over there. Our citizens, we got shit to do here. We're snatching fucking leaders out of Venezuela. We're talking about taking out cartel bosses in Mexico. We're talking about buying Greenland. We're going over there fucking with the Middle East some more. Like, America is stretched thin, guys. All of our weapons are going to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but the big proxy over there is America. Okay, so America's stretched kind of thin, yet we're $38 trillion in debt, right? You guys are paying 22.5% of all your taxes to the federal government, which is stealing your money. You're paying tons of state tax, tons of local. Every time you guys wake up, it starts turning, right? The amount of money you're losing, just you have to pay to live in this country, right? And again, it's to pay for war, it's to pay for snatching leaders, it's to pay for bullying the rest of the world. It is unnecessary. We have actually a pretty good thing here in this hemisphere. We could probably stand to work on that, but it's insane, guys. Okay, let's see. Daniel Berrarium, officially 2722. Hey, everyone, happy Saturday. Yeah, again, happy Saturday, everyone. Again, there's some good things going on. I'm building serpentine dressers. I'm building a new CNC today. So I'll show you guys. If anybody wants to see the CNC router that I'm putting together, let me know. I'll put it in the stream today. All right, Kingfire1148. You know, the U.S. does what Net and Yahoo orders. 100%, man. 100%. And it's just, again, I have to think at this point it's a blackmail thing. And it's total conspiracy. I have almost zero proof of this. But the more we learn about this Jeffrey Epstein situation, the more information trickles out. And again, this isn't going away. Donald Trump's presidency, he's going to go down as the Epstein administration. It's going to happen. Like I told you guys, Howard Lutnick is gone by the end of March, right? You're going to see Pam Bondi is gone next. Bill Gates is going to literally have to leave his foundation, and that's almost happening. I told you this happened, right? You're going to see Kash Patel is gone by the end of the year. Trump's people are falling. This story isn't going away, guys. But again, if you get everyone focused on war, well, maybe you could distract a little bit, so buy some time. All right, Gangsta Mind 187. Hard to celebrate when you can't even go outside unless you want to get hit by a bomb. Yeah, that sucks, man. That's a great point. But again, like I said, there is so much propaganda out there, and the only place I know to get halfway real information is going to be X. Half of it's going to be these cucks like Benny Johnson, Gunther Eagleman, Derek Evans. Again, these guys that just drape themselves in the flag and literally, suck Trump's dick 24/7. These are the guys you're going to see on there. Look at the carriers. Look at the F-22 Raptors. Fuck around, find out. Oh, amazing. Everything's going to be breaking. America strikes Iran. America's going to liberate. Most of it is bullshit, guys. Like I said, there is nothing good that happens with these wars. And again, I say this as a 46-year-old man. And again, I went through the Iraq situation. I went through the Afghanistan situation. Done a lot of research on this in these days. It is wildly bad for America, guys. But I also did a talk maybe a week ago. It says the elites need war, guys. This country needs a war. You want to get people focused on something other than how shitty it is in America right now. Tell them they got to go to war. It's get a war going on, right? Again, all of the oxygen is sucked out of the economy, and what's happening here in America is going to be funneled into this thing in a completely different part of the world. So it's a strategy, man. We'll see if it works. Okay, let's see. It says stay on one subject. I know. What I do is I tend to follow the people that make the comments. That's one of the things I think people like about these streams is I'm not just talking to myself and you guys just listen to me. I actually interact with people. That's why I like the live streams. I think the live streams are going to be the way that it goes. And again, live streams are going to be the thing because people want to have a voice in what they're talking about. I've told you guys many times, when you guys post on X and you post on YouTube and you post on Instagram, a lot of times you're not talking to the actual content creators. You're talking to what's called their VAs, right? And this is a massive industry in the Philippines where a lot of businesses, especially social media, use these people to do all the comments, to interact with people because the business owners don't necessarily have time to deal with it. And honestly, we don't want to. And again, I have VAs that work for my company, the Resplendent Crow. And again, we do this kind of thing. This is exactly how it works. So I think this is the new medium that people are gonna gravitate towards. So okay, America always stands with Israel. Stupid. Again, do you think that I'm retarded? I'm not. I know what America always stands with Israel. The problem is that sometimes we're not supposed to. Sometimes we got to push back and say, you know what, you guys are on your own. So when again, if you're, I always use the analogy of the little kid. Remember that the little fuck stick in high school? He'd always talk shit to everyone because he had a big friend, right? So if anyone fucked with the little geek that with a big mouth, that the big bully would be behind him, to deal with any of these people. This is the relationship that Israel and America have, right? And again, it'd be one thing if we needed the oil. If there was a reason we needed to be in the Middle East, I could justify how much attention we give Israel. It would kind of make sense. Like, we need a stable Middle East. But again, the Middle East does fuck all for America, guys. It used to. This is not 2005 anymore. Again, all of our oil comes from Canada, dude. We make 13 million barrels a day here in America, right? The fracking industry liberated us from the Middle East. And we're still acting like it's 2005, like we get 30% of our fucking oil from Saudi Arabia, guys. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you're just bringing up any random story. I don't think so. Okay, okay. Kingfire 1148, it's never going to make sense to a realist. I know, yeah, that's a great comment, Kingfire. Appreciate that one. Okay, M Mark 4792. Thanks for talking about this. And again, again, as Americans, as business owners, I think that we have a perspective that is valuable. And again, it might not be super, I don't claim to be a smart person. I don't claim to be an intelligent, like I know everything, like I'm some kind of theologian, or I, just study the history of everything. Like, I own a furniture company. I got 8 employees. I do a small 7 figures in revenue. I've been in business for 10 years. This is my perspective. This is my knowledge base. But I'm an American, and I care about these things, and I think other Americans care about it. So that's why we talk about it. So, M. Mark, I appreciate it. Or excuse me, M. Rack, I should say, 4792. Okay, Gander in flight, blah, 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 blah. Guys, there's nothing that makes any sense. He's talking circles. Okay, and again, this can happen when you're talking about subjects. Okay, the Yahoodis are out in force early this morning. Okay, great. We got Guy, who's this? Guy C80, can't fix this dumbass. Okay, Iranian people are happy today. All right, cool. Let's see. I wonder why the 7K tiny hats are in here. Yeah, I know. Again, tiny hats. Is that Nick Fuentes guy says that thing? That's so funny. That's saying cracks me up. Okay, Bobby G, 1994. What war? Yeah, I know, right? Okay, paradigm shift Web 3 in the true gospel of Jesus. He said, "You are the Son of God, that all mankind was a divine manifestation of the Spirit, to love all people regardless of race, religion, or sexuality." All right, well, paradigm shift. I appreciate your message, man. That's good. Okay, let's see. UK Gnome 77. Who's they? Smasher 88. I know we can't say who they are. Okay, Smasher 338. It's not like Iraq. The IRGC is a shell. The people of Iran want the regime to be overthrown. Okay, well, so again, I already talked about this. So Iraq and Iran, like you have to understand some context, right? So Iran actually has a military-industrial complex. Iraq did not. Okay, these are very things you need to understand. Iran is 4 times the size of Iraq. Okay, their military is 6 times the size of Iraq. Okay, so this does matter. Now, can America go in there and just decimate everything in a matter of days or weeks and then kick out and come home? Possibly. Like, I don't know. But again, are you okay with this? Like, can America just go to any sovereign country that it wants and just start snatching leaders, say they're going to take things over, you know, whatever, go down into sovereign countries and conduct military operations? Are you guys okay with this? Is this how you guys want to operate? Do we want to be an imperial empire? We had this opportunity after World War II, and we elected not to do it, right? We kind of reoriented the world to favor America, but we didn't just take everyone over. Like, is that what we want to do? We just want to go into any country that we want, snatch a leader, put our own leader in there. If we tell them, oh, no, you're going to get to elect your own leader, we don't like that leader, what, we then go snatch that leader too? And we just get, again, all these people in government that we want around the world. Is that how you guys want to, you know, be? Because I don't want to be that way. I don't think that's good for America. I think we need to bring a lot of this shit back home to America. I've told you guys, the reason you guys can't make any fucking money today is because, again, the government and businesses sold you out starting in the 90s and sent all the work to the third world, right? And then again, told you guys you were going to get college degrees and have these great office jobs. And how'd that work out for you guys, right? Now we got AI, and again, you're all fucked, you know? So there's a lot of things happening in our government that have been happening for a long time that have not made this country better. In fact, it's made it worse. And you guys thought that it was better, right? It was better for about 20 years. Well, guess what? Now we got real problems here in America. You know, we got things we need to work on here. So I don't think we need to be in the Middle East. All right, let's see. This is it's Reddix. Reddix, good to see you. Okay, why is corporation leaders at Okay, they are corporate leaders. Okay, we got Mark 4792, especially isn't going to fight in the sandbox at a big fan. Yeah, again, trying to go over to the Middle East to fight. Again, it's not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Maybe it was in the early 2000s, but again, there's no reason for America to be there. And again, if anyone has a reason, put it in the comments. I want to know, why is America over there? And when you tell me it's to defend democracy, or it's for oil, or it's for anything, I'm going to push back against you in many ways, which I do on all my streams, because America isn't the lover of democracies as we say we are, right? We're not the lover of capitalism that we say we are. We're not the, free the people that we say we are, okay? The way that we talk and the way that we act, diametrically opposed, okay? So, all right, who else is in here? We got Rob Zekel, 9989. Fragile must be French. Okay, cool, yeah. Everyone always puts that in the stream. Okay, Deborah Bond is in here, 7209. It's about time that the truth comes out. Yeah, but Deborah Bond, again, and I tell you guys a lot of times in the stream, like, it's okay to make a comment, but don't make it an open-ended comment, right? What is the truth? What is it? What I'm saying? Like, give some context to things you guys are saying, okay? To infinity and beyond, 888, that's a Toy Story reference. Okay, Clinton or Trump, red or blue, they've got you, 100%. And that's what I keep saying, guys. It doesn't matter who you guys vote for. Again, people say, oh, Kamala would have been better than Trump. No, we'd be in the same situation. The border would be open with Kamala, but the immigration situation would be the exact same. This idea of going to war probably be the exact same. I mean, you guys wouldn't see a lot of change. Doesn't really matter who is in office. Kamala probably would have raised your taxes a little bit. Trump cut them a little bit. Like I said, it's a seesaw. No matter who you vote for, in the end, the military-industrial complex always wins, and large corporations always win in America. It's the only constant, guys. And the federal government gets your tax dollars, 22.5%. So enjoy that. Okay, let's see. Boda Castra. So why did Trump only send air assets and no troops? Because, again, if Trump sent troops right away, Americans would oppose it immediately. And again, here's the thing you guys don't understand about the military now. The military wars aren't being fought the way they used to be fought. Like we think this is fucking Vietnam again, and we're going to send a whole bunch of troops over there. We're going to be running through the jungle. We're all going to be, whatever, listening to Creedence Clearwater Revival. And the truth is, guys, it's done in the air, right? It's done with drones, right? It's going to be done with autonomous vehicles. Like, again, you're going to see less and less troops every year that our civilization, moves forward, right? We're in 2026 right now. Wait till we get to 2030. Again, there's going to be no need for troops, guys. Like, that's the thing. Like, you guys believe that there's all these people, celebrating that America's coming to save them, right? That must mean you also believe the autonomous, like dogs and the autonomous animals and the autonomous robots that countries like China are creating and using. They're putting weapons on all these things, and they're using those for crowd control. They're using those for repressing their people. Again, like, you guys believe everything? Okay, well, then you got to believe America has that shit too, right? You see the swarms of drones over in China where they make them, the swarms of drones look like massive fireworks. They make them the shapes of dragons. You're talking like 10, 20,000 of these drones acting in unison, right? Controlled by AI. You think that shit's fake? I believe that every bit of that is real. That is how your wars are going to be fought. You're not going to need troops, right? You're not going to, again, when your airplanes are fought by AI because they're flown autonomously, you don't lose troops. The litmus test is not boots on the ground anymore, guys. And if that is how you judge whether or not we should go to war, like, you're going to go to war every time. At some point, you got to understand that it's not the troops that are the issue, right? It's okay to go to war. What if it's just planes that are flown autonomously? It's okay to go to war if it's just destroyers sending Tomahawk missiles into a country. That's okay. Like, are you really okay with that? Because again, we got fucking veterans over here that are on the streets. And again, if we do send, we do decide to fight all these wars where we have more fucking veterans on the street now, if we do end up putting boots on the ground, does that mean we're going to have more veterans on the street here? Are we okay with this? Like, again, the VA doesn't take care of the fucking people that we have here already. We're just going to keep doing it. And who's going to pay for all this? We're $38 trillion in debt. You guys are paying 22.5% of all your fucking taxes to the federal government. At what point do you say, hey, what? I'm squeezed thin. I need you to work on me, the American, and stop funneling all of my resources to the Middle East, or funneling tons of my resources over to Ukraine and this whole Russia conflict, right? At what point are we going to send money to the American people? At what point? Again, you guys remember those, you're going to get those tariff refund checks? Again, you guys aren't getting jack shit. You ain't getting a motherfucking thing. You know who's going to get those? Me, because I paid them, right? So they're going to come to me. Even though I charged you for them and you already paid for all my products, I'm also going to get the refund check. You guys lose every fucking step of the way. Every step of the way. You guys can't win for nothing. And then your government says, hey, we're going to go to war. We're going to go promote democracy. We're going to go save Israel. We're going to make sure that the Middle East is stable for oil. Okay? You guys are being lied to holy hell, guys. Like, come on, man. Okay, Smasher, I did fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay, good. So Smasher, 338. You fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, okay? What do you think about that? How's it going over there? Do you feel like what you did in Iraq and Afghanistan was worthwhile? Did you enjoy going over to the desert, right? Did you enjoy all the camel spiders? Did you enjoy all the fucking dust and the sand? Did you enjoy being over there? Like, is the movie Jarhead relate to you at all? Because I also know a lot of people that went to Iraq and Afghanistan, and they aren't too thrilled about what went on over there, So again, maybe your situation's different, and good for you. So, all right, let's just see. This is Ho Hill 12. Okay, who's falling, and what is he specifically falling on? You only mentioned things he's gotten done or pushed to get done. There are only roadblocks. Is the left? Okay, again, I'm not saying I'm not getting what you're saying there, Ho Hill 12. Keep commenting, man. We'll get to it. Okay, Smashy didn't fight. Okay, again, I got no idea, man. Smasher, I just have no idea. Again, I take everyone at their word if I'm being completely honest. Okay, Trump also lost the tariff war against the Supreme Court too. That's a huge blow to Trump. He can't threaten the penguins in that state anymore. Yeah, right. Again, this is the thing about tariffs. Like, tariffs aren't to bully the rest of the world. Tariffs are there to protect the American worker, right? That's literally all tariff is there for. Again, there's no benefit to tariffing another country unless it's to protect your own industries and your own workers here in America. And again, I own an American manufacturing company. I'm not some fucking guy in his garage, making furniture and calling myself a business owner. Okay, I actually have a factory. We got 8 employees. We actually make real American furniture, right? So when Trump puts a 46% tariff on the country of Vietnam, guess what? I'm able to get more potential sales because it costs a lot more money for restoration hardware and Our House and Wayfair and Paragold and Solder and all these fucking companies that manufacture their stuff in the third world to bring it over here to America, right? And this is why when I tell you guys, we need a 400% tariff on China and we need a 400% tariff on Vietnam to make my product hyper sellable here in America, right? And you'll say, oh, it's going to raise prices for American. Well, here's the thing, right? I pay my furniture makers and my painters well in excess of $30 to $45 an hour, okay? That's a real American wage. And again, they can buy my furniture. They know how to make my furniture. When they work for a business like mine, guess what? We're happy to make furniture for them. We're helping to give them discounted this, discounted that. The skills that they learn are super tangible. So it makes their life better in many ways. They can fix furniture. They can make furniture. They can do all kinds of tangible things here in America. You have to get rid of everything being outsourced to the third world. And again, people say, oh, I'm going off topic, but all this shit's related, guys. We got a lot of things we need to work on here in America. It's vitally important. Okay, let's see. Guy C80, price is down, stupid. Okay, what price is down, dude? Again, the price of oil. Of course the price of oil is down. When you have shit tons of regulations on the oil industry, the price can only go up, right? So Trump is deregulating, which is good. He's trying to bring more oil online in Anwar, which is good. But I'm here to tell you, fucktard, that the price of oil will stay between $60 and 80 cents a barrel. It doesn't matter if you extract all the oil from the entire world. This is the money that the oil industry needs to be able to explore for more oil, to pay for security while they're exploring for more oil, to go to companies like Transocean and get these massive oil rigs that they can then send into the Gulf of America. Like, all this shit costs money, dude. It's not just, we just, magically bring oil up from the earth and it just magically shows up in the fucking gas station. America hasn't built a refinery in a long time. We're going to need more refineries if we bring more oil in to get the price down. But guess what? There are no more refineries because, again, regulations do not allow you guys to build more refineries, okay? Chevron is literally leaving California because of all the regulation. Again, they've got a refinery over there. They're pulling out because of the regulations, guys. Like, again, this idea that just bringing tons of oil in here is going to bring the cost of oil down, like, you don't know how economics work. You don't know how business works. There's a lot of money that goes into finding the next source of oil, right? It's holy hell, man. Okay, what do we got in here? Okay, we got to infinity and beyond. I just love that. I love Tom Hanks. He's so good in that movie. Okay, elites are both blue and red. What can people do? Okay, I heard you there. We got Mr. One Boston back in here. Good to see you, dude. Okay, bro, we need to talk. All right, Mr. Boston, let me know what we need to talk about. Gwendolyn, a great name, okay? War is bad, okay? Yeah, who doesn't love South Park? War is bad, and again, I just, like I said, we got stuff to work on here in America, and again, Trump's administration, again, I voted for Trump both times. I tell you guys all the time, I live in Illinois. I'm the only red guy in my blue neighborhood, and I'm the guy that has the Trump 2024 sign out in front of his house for a year. Like, I literally thought this guy was going to do great. He's been just nothing but horrible, and it's so sad. It's very bad. Okay, I got news for you. We never got oil from the Middle East. Okay, well, I don't agree with you there, but maybe you know something that I don't. Please elaborate. Okay, what did Biden have it at? What did Biden, again, it's the regulations, guys. It's not the oil producers, okay? It's not where we get the oil from. When you have tons of regulation on oil, guess what happens? The cost goes up. It's the same thing in housing, guys. You know why we can't build any fucking houses in this country? It's because, again, the regulations, especially the local regulations and the state regulations, okay? Like, where I live in Illinois, impossible to build homes. We got builders in Missouri that would love to build in Illinois, but the regulations between the two states, wildly different, so the cost of housing, wildly different. Regulations matter, okay? And again, when you open up exploration, that means the oil companies can then go find more sources of oil, which does cost money, which is why you need to stay at that $60 to $80 a barrel. And again, the reason we bring so much oil in here in America is because of hydraulic fracturing. Well, guess what? Extracting oil from the earth using hydraulic fracturing is wildly more expensive than extracting it, via drilling like they do in the 1930s. It's wildly different, but that means that America can produce its own oil. It's just, I don't think this is news. I'm not adding anything to this conversation. Okay, Marak 4792. Hey, Mister, what was it like to run the Burger King in Kuwait? I know, and this is, again, I'm a capitalist. I own a business. I love capitalism. I think it's great. I think this idea that America has to spread all of its business to the rest of the world for capitalism to work is what is crushing this country, guys. Like the fact that we have to have growth all the time. We don't need growth every year, okay? My business doesn't make money every year, and that's okay. Do you see me living in squalor? Am I in a tent? No, I do fine, right? Again, businesses don't have to grow every single year. But when you live in an environment like that, if you can't grow in America, guess what? You get Starbucks everywhere. You get Burger King everywhere. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if fucking Home Depot tries to go to the rest of the world. Like we end up with all these corporations that then have to export and franchise out everything that they do for growth. You know, the reason if you have growth if you have growth at any expense, that means when the American worker is making furniture, in my case, when I have a corporation or I have a board, and that board constantly has to increase revenue, increase growth, increase margin because the CEO's pay or the executive board, the board's pay is attached. When shareholders' dividends are attached to growth, guess what? The American worker loses his job. The American worker no longer becomes viable. Therefore, instead of paying the American worker $32.50 an hour with benefits, right, with insurance, they then decide, you know what, we're going to send that job to China because we need to make money, right? It's too expensive to employ an American. We no longer need insurance. We no longer need to worry about OSHA. We no longer need to worry about the EPA. We no longer need to worry about transportation. We no longer need to worry about tort. We'll send all the third world. They make $2.50 an hour there, no regulations. Okay, it's all this stuff is connected, guys. And again, I think it's very obvious what is happening here, but I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree. Okay, bribes then. Mr. Boss says all the oil went to Israel. Again, Israel can't use all that oil, dumb fuck. Like, what are you talking about? Israel can't use that much oil. Israel is the size of New Jersey, dude. It's 9.6 million people. That's it. Okay, like, come on, man. Like, you're crazy. Again, now Israel does have a nuclear weapons program. They have literally their own nuclear reactor there. And again, everyone's okay with that. There's no issue. Even though Israel has been at the heart of every conflict in the Middle East, it's okay if they have a nuclear weapon. But goddamn, Iran, who hasn't really attacked anyone. But what our country loves to do is they love to say things like, oh, proxies. Iran's proxies. Proxies are everywhere. Supports terrorism, right? They always say this kind of stuff. If you look at the stats or you look at the data, Iran hasn't really attacked a lot of people. Oh, Iran's paying for all of it. You always hear this kind of stuff. Well, who's Israel's proxy, guys? Who's Saudi Arabia's proxy? You know, who's Ukraine's proxy? Okay, again, like the game isn't being played equally, guys. There's double standards everywhere. And again, we just want to act like they don't exist. And America's above all that. I'm here to tell you guys, we're not. And we didn't vote for this. We voted for Trump because he was supposed to keep us away from this kind of shit. He's one of these people that, again, says it all and stands up to all the scrutiny and will push back against all the blackmail because Trump doesn't give a fuck. Turns out, Trump can be blackmailed. You know, Trump can be bribed. Trump can be convinced of things that I didn't think he could be convinced of. I thought he was above all that shit, and he's no different than anybody else, which is really depressing. Okay, guys, this guy doesn't know anything about foreign policy. Again, I never claimed to know anything about foreign policy. I'm just a guy, small business owner, talking about current events. Okay, why is America so deeply embedded with Israel? This is drastic plastics. 250. I don't know. I just don't know. And I talked about at the very beginning of the stream. Like, if you guys look at the whole Israel thing, and again, you're not supposed to talk about the Jew-Israel thing. And I don't think that American Jews are the same as the Israeli Jews. I don't think the Israel government represents the Jews over here in America or the Jews in Israel very well. You can't make a blanket statement about these people. But clearly, the government of Israel has a massive influence on the Trump administration, whether it's just Donald Trump or it's Marco Rubio or it's Lindsey Graham, or it's, you talk about the Mark Levin guy, the Ben Shapiro and his entire network. There's clearly an Israeli connection there, right? And then again, if you look at American media, whether it's news, the movie industry, academia, tech, there is look at social media, right? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. They're all controlled by this very small group of people, right? One of the wealthiest companies in the world, YouPorn, owned by an Israeli, okay? So there's a lot of influence by this government, by a lot of these people. If you look at AIPAC, the largest donors to every politician in America, they don't have to represent as a foreign influencing institution. There's a word for it. I forget what they call it. But again, we're not playing by the same set of rules, guys. These people aren't playing by the same set of rules. And again, these people, I think, are a net benefit for America. But what they're doing is they're trying to propagandize all of us. They're trying to control us through, again, the media, through donations to politicians, through our president, through our government, through, I mean, I've even heard that Israel has threatened to nuke Iran themselves. And again, Israel is not supposed to even have a bomb. But again, so America's basically has been blackmailed into, or strong-armed, I should say, into going over there and fighting Iran so that they don't have to launch a nuke at this country. I don't know if any of that's true. These are things that you hear. And again, when we don't get the real facts, we don't get the real information, the only thing that proliferates are conspiracies. And so I don't know what we do about this, guys. Like, it's wild. I mean, let me know what you guys think. If you guys are in the stream, hit the like button, add discussion. Again, my name is Eric Wilk. I'm the Resplendent Crow. I try and do a talk once a day about a current event of some kind. I appreciate everyone that hangs out and supports this channel, supports what it is we do here. YouTube hates this content. YouTube advertisers hate this content. They want me to act like a little, oh, I make furniture. Let me go play with my Festool. Oh, here I am on my table saw. Well, that's what they want me to do. They want me to do the dance. Now, I don't do the dance, right? I'm not a content creator that makes his money off content. I'm a furniture maker that owns a furniture manufacturing company. That's where I make my money. That's why I can talk the way that I do on here. I don't need to operate within YouTube's algorithm. I can say whatever I want. So YouTube hates this content. So hit the like button, add the discussion. It really helps to kick it around. It's the only way this content is going to be kicked around. So, all right, Voticaster in here. As long as they depend on us for defense, we have massive influence. Again, dude, I think it's the exact opposite. Again, and this is what doesn't make any sense. We don't have any influence on Israel. Zero. None. They have all the influence on us, and it's very obvious. There's 9.6 million people in that country. Why the fuck do we care about this place? Saudi Arabia has 40 million people. Egypt has 100 million people, right? You guys look at Qatar, look at Kuwait, look at Jordan, look at Syria. All these countries have massive amounts of people in them, yet we protect this one little country, okay? It doesn't make any sense to me. So anyway, it's wildly frustrating. So let me see where I'm at in the comments. I don't know how many comments we got in here. Oh my God, I am way behind. Okay, I'm gonna go to halfway through the comments and continue with you guys. All right, we got who got some? Let's start with somebody new. No regrets. No regrets. I guess supposed to be key or maybe 8K8Y. I can blank an EMP device. Yeah, EMPs, man, those are scary things. Sam K5Z8X. True, we have more important shit to worry about. And this is how I see it, guys. Let's see. Norm? I don't know. EMP, I don't know. I'm an ex-military electrician tech. Don't think they exist as they say. Well, that's cool, man. I appreciate being in here. What branch of the service do you serve in, man? I'd love to know. Okay, Arctic Adjuster. Border is not an issue. Why do we build a wall only at the southern border? Is there already a wall around the other borders already? And yeah, I don't even know that we need a wall, guys. Like I said, I'm one of these people. Like I'm kind of hardcore when it comes to the borders in our country, and I'm of the opinion that we need to start doing something that is works a little bit better than a wall, right? Which is literally having people on there, and you're gonna have to do some awful things to some of these people to get the rest of the world to understand that if you come here, bad shit's gonna happen to you. And we haven't done that. We haven't spread that message out there. I think that we've got the border closed, which is good. I think that sent the message to the rest of the world that, hey, you come to America, you're probably not gonna get in here. So that's a good thing, but there's other kinds of deterrents, and I'm one of these people. I support those kind of deterrents, and I probably can't say them on YouTube, but okay. Let's see, Sam. We never won a war without troops. This is Boda Castro. Again, I agree with you, man. Boots on the ground are kind of required in many ways, but again, as we move on, you're going to see less and less troops because they're not going to be necessary. Again, all your fighter jets are going to be autonomous. Your submarines are going to be autonomous. Everything's going to be autonomous, guys. You're not going to need humans for a lot of things. I hate to tell you this, and again, it's just a matter of time before you don't need troops, right? You could literally have robots, right? You could have all kinds of different autonomous vehicles. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the latest RoboCop movie. I think it came out I want to say 2013. Like you're in a situation like that, where again, robots are the boots on the ground, which is wild, you know. And I think those days are probably here. They're probably closer than we realize, you know. So, okay, let's see. We never went to war without truth. Sam says facts. All right, no regrets. JD and Erica Kirk killed Charlie Kirk. Again, I have no idea. I don't know what's going on there. Have you guys heard all that crazy shit with Candace Owens and like again? I think that Erica Kirk acts a little bit weird, but I don't follow that story much. But I know that Candace Owens chick, like, man, she needs to just back off. Like leave that woman alone. Again, like think about like what would you do if you lost your spouse? Again, especially like a super public. You know, again, I just, you know, if you guys remember seeing all that blood squirt out of his. When I first saw that, I thought it was like CGI. I thought it was like AI or something. And whew, that's wild times, man. Again, these people that still talk about that kind of stuff, like they do it for clicks, guys. It's not like when someone's spouse dies, right? When someone's kids die, like you don't use that to get clicks. That's just really cruel. And I think that as a country, we're better than that. I think most of us are better than that. But again, when Candace Owens does these streams, like people just tune in. It's like catnip to people. They can't tune away from it. They just love this salacious shit. And I don't get it, you know, but whatever. Okay, I'll say the Arc just says you're an idiot. All right, dude. Texas Pete says this idiot. Got it, man. Sam says, why is he an idiot, Pete? Okay, again, I give you guys the stream, hit the like button, add discussion. Normal dude, not a historical expert. I'm not a quote unquote expert. I just run a small business here in America. I got 8 employees. We do a small 7-figure. We make about 500 pieces of furniture a year. We do all of it right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Real American business, real American employees, real American products that sell to Americans. That's my point of view, right? So you guys want to know how importing works? I got 2 manufacturers that make Indian hardware for me, solid brass hardware that I put on my furniture. So you guys want to actually know how that kind of stuff works? I actually do the work. I'm a real expert, you know. So when the people on Fox News try and tell you how it really works, they don't actually know what they're talking about, right? When your Nobel laureate economists try and tell you guys how tariffs really work, again, I actually do it. So this is my perspective. When people want to talk about small business and manufacturing in America today, I actually do it. That's where I'm an expert, right? When your politicians tell you how bad tariffs are hurting the furniture industry, okay, my furniture business is almost to sales of COVID, okay? We are crushing it because tariffs allow us to get more swings at selling furniture to Americans. It's not complicated, okay? So, all right, keep going. We are not at war. Who's this? This is Vodestro. We are not at war. You are straw manning me. Okay, well, you don't have to think we're at war, but again, when our fleet's over there, we got jets bombing places. You're seeing Tomahawk missiles flying, and again, Israel's doing the same thing. That's war, dude. Like that's literally what it is. Okay, what would you call it if Iran was off the coast of New York shooting missiles into Manhattan? Would you just be like, oh, they're just, you know, they're sending us a stern message? Like again, we would never put up with that, you know. So again, there's a lot of double standards, right? We got a lot of people that are willing to look the other way when it favors their interest. They're not looking at reality. And again, thank God we have X. We can do these YouTube lives. We can get real people in there talking about real things, having real conversations, because the propaganda, guys, is about to get as thick as you've ever seen it. Okay, let's see. Comfy, RWDS. RWDS, yeah, okay, we need 2 to 3 Dagenston and forget Dagon. I don't know what Dagenston is. Is that the dragons in Game of Thrones? I'm not sure what the hell you're saying there, but if that is, man, great reference. Okay, let's see, is Tahab Norm. Studying electronics, I've never seen any evidence EMP as they say. Again, I don't think there could be an EMP. I'm like, I got no idea, but we know what happens when you drop a nuke, right? You literally get an EMP. So if they can create a nuke, I'm sure they can create an EMP at some point. So again, it's like I used to work in aerospace industry, and they used to always tell us that breaking the sound barrier wasn't going to happen, right? You couldn't do it in general aviation, and there's a reason that planes don't fly above the speed of sound, because there's a sonic boom, right? You'd have that all over the place. You can't have that here in America. The FAA doesn't allow it. So what happens is you get companies like Gulfstream and companies like Cessna trying to figure out how to break through the sound barrier without creating a sonic boom. We've figured it out. You're going to see this in general aviation, where, again, commercial aviation will hopefully get there as well someday, but you're going to see that private jets, because they don't care about the cost of fuel, will start breaking the sound barrier as this new technology comes out. So we're very good at creating technology. It just sometimes takes a while. So, okay, this says war. It's a straw man response. All right, no regrets. Says, I don't see anybody asked what questions. So there are you reading these questions from? Okay, again, I'm just reading everything's in the comments, dude. That's why we do these streams. Tohermborm lost a bunch of friends or what? No, I'm a workaholic. So a lot, you got people out here that be like, oh my God, you must not have any friends. You must not have a life. It's like, no, being a business owner is quite a solitary thing. Being a furniture maker is also a very solitary thing. So I basically spend all my time at work and with my wife, right? And that's basically it. So I'm dealing with employees, I'm dealing with my wife, and this is literally like my going to the bar. Okay, so again, we don't sit at the bars anymore. There's no fucking cheers that we can all go, where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Again, this is the new cheers. That's why I do these streams. So again, anyone that hangs out here, anyone that hits the like button as the discussion subscribes, I appreciate it. This is why I interact with people. We talk about real issues. I show you guys, like I said, how to run a business, how to build furniture, how to paint furniture, how to work with metal, how transportation works, whatever you want to know about business, that's what we talk about on this channel. So, all right, let's see here. It says, Pastor Pete says, I enjoyed every minute of it. Okay, Voto Castra, I don't have war without troops. I did not say I want troops involved. Okay, and again, the litmus test that troops this is where the troops are where you draw the line. You should draw the line at dropping bombs on other countries, dude. Again, when we drop bombs, we create tons of enemies. There's never been a country where we dropped a bomb, right, and then they became our friends, okay? The Japanese, right, are not our friends, okay? They do not there's a lot of bad blood over there, right? When we go over to the Middle East and we attack all those countries, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, do you think these people are our friends? Do you think they're super glad we were there? Do you think their countries are better for us being there? They're not, okay? So, all right, is this Jared? Oh, this is Garrett Beard, I guess, maybe? Okay, take a fucking hint, people. Don't like you people. Okay, do you employ union workers? Okay, here we go with the union discussion, okay? No, we are not a union company. Missouri is not a union state. Okay, Arctic Adjuster trade, good. Tariffs, bad. Let free markets work. Okay, and again, Arctic Adjuster, I've tried to talk to you guys about how free trade really works. I've tried to talk to you guys about why tariffs are good. And again, tariffs would probably hurt my business in the long run, and tariffs would hurt the average American in the short term. But in the long term, you would all make more money. You would all have more skills. You would not need to buy tons of garbage, which is what most Americans do. They buy just tons of cheap shit all the time. Tariffs would be great for this country. But again, I just run a business, so what would I know? Okay, but again, Arctic Adjuster, I appreciate your comment. I like when people go back and forth with me. We might not agree on things, but I'm one of these people. I am wildly open to change. I know that I don't know everything, and I know that there's a lot of people that know a lot more than me, and this is why I like to talk to people on here. So, and again, the people that talk about unions, again, people bring unions up here all the time, and then in the next comment, they'll say, oh, you're staying off topic, okay? This is what I do. I talk to people about the things they want to talk about, even if it gets off topic, okay? Again, I don't have union people in my shop. My people don't need a union. I pay my people very well. And again, the least amount of time someone has worked for me is 5 years. Okay, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. I've only been in business for 10 years. And guess what? When you take care of your employees, they don't want a fucking union. Employees want unions because they can't make any goddamn money. Employees want unions because they can't get any benefits, right? They don't like their work. They're not happy in their life. That's why you get unions coming there. And then what I don't like about unions is that the employees then think that the union is taking care of them, when in fact, it's the fucking company that pays your salary. It's not the fucking union that's paying your salary, guys. The company is paying your benefits, right? It's not the union paying your benefits. You just found someone that fights for you, right? Because your company treats you like shit, okay? You guys have to understand that there's a big difference between why people want unions and why businesses don't want unions. If you just take care of your people, guess what? You don't need a union. The whole reason unions were created was essentially Carnegie was working people to death in the turn of the century, right? When people were working in the cotton mills, right? When you'd have a fire, there were no OSHA regulations. There were no regulations around taking care of employees. This is why you need unions. This is why you need things like OSHA. Again, if businesses look out for their employees, businesses take care of their employees, no need for a union. So there you go. Okay, let's see, unions ain't all bad. No, hell no, unions aren't all bad. I grew up in a union home. My dad was a union steam fitter for his entire life. Retired, had a great retirement, always had health care, always had insurance, and paid the child support. He didn't stay with my mom, but always paid child support. And like I said, unions aren't bad at all. They're just, again, the people need to get right with what a union and a company actually mean. And again, employees tend to lose sight of who's actually paying the bills in those situations. Eventually, businesses just get fucking tired of being raked over the coals by unions. Unions almost always go too far, and that's when you end up with this big fight. And again, when the employee doesn't understand where their fucking paycheck's really coming from, that's when I got problems with unions. So, okay, let's see. Trade good, tariffs bad. Let free markets work. Okay. What else we got? Let's see. Garrett Baird. My mom is a U in Stewart, and she fucking hates it. Okay, well, I'm not sure what a U is. I guess is Union and Stewart. I don't know what you're talking about there, dude, but I appreciate the comment. Okay, do you have a union? Okay, I already answered that question. Matt's Utman, 1154. Bless your heart. Okay, Texas Pete's wrong. Boda Castra, why are not using oil like we once did? We no longer have a third shift. We are not using oil like we used to. I think oil's at an all-time high in America. Like I don't, maybe you know something that I don't, so I'm kind of curious what you're saying there. We no longer have a third shift. So maybe you work in the oil industry or something like that. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Okay, Arctic Adjuster. Texas, try making an argument, idiot. Okay. Texas Pete, we got all refineries going up every day around me. And again, that's what I thought was going on. And like I said, I've told you guys this before, like, getting lots of oil production online is obviously a good thing. It's not that it's a good thing, but the cost of oil is not going to drop between $60 and $80 a barrel. Like this is kind of where they want it. Now with war, you might see the price of oil go up on speculation and on the threat of oil not coming out of the Middle East. But I'm here to tell you guys, watch that price of oil, because what I think is going to happen is the price of oil is actually going to stay fairly steady, right? If it's going to stay between $60 and $80 a barrel, maybe it goes up to 90, right? And maybe it does nothing because, again, most of our oil comes from Canada. 50% of all the oil brought into America comes from Canada. 10% comes from Mexico. 6% comes from Saudi Arabia, okay? So most of our oil comes from our neck of the woods. So I'd be shocked if it caused oil prices to go up significantly, but again, I'm no expert. Okay, Raptorate 2871. This guy is yapping. They use refineries outside before getting it. Okay, dude, you're not saying anything that none of us don't know. Okay, let's see. Nate's and Nim. This is previously recorded. Okay, cool. Arctic Adjustment. I appreciate all your comments. Anyone that stays in here and listens to this kind of stuff and goes back and forth and has a conversation, like I said, it's not only is it for you guys, it's for me as well. So I appreciate all the comments, guys. If you're in the stream, hit the like button. Helps kick around the algorithms. Hit the subscribe button if you want to know about how to run a furniture company. You want to know how to paint furniture, you want to know how to make furniture, and like real furniture, right? Not like this bullshit that you see, made in China crap and the stuff that's literally just cut on a CNC router. Like we make real furniture right here in St. Louis, America, all made in America. So, okay, you voted for this, then you're an idiot. Yeah, I did vote for it, and man, I'm wildly disappointed. So thanks for pointing that out, Arctic Adjuster. Like I need to feel any worse about it. Okay, my city was alive with overnight workers. Now it's dead at 10 p.m. Again, everything's changed. You guys want to see what cities are supposed to look like? Go down to Miami. Like I said, I was down there about a year ago, and I'm an early morning runner, so I'll get up like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll run before it even gets light out. And again, the city is bustling with people that are getting the city ready for the day. And you just see tons of people out cleaning streets, doing trash, washing windows, bringing in bread, bringing in supplies, bringing in whatever. And it never stops in this city. It's the same like you go to New York, go down to Manhattan. And again, the amount of people that are just working constantly to keep those places going is just wild. You cannot go to these places and not feel the energy that exists there. It's really wild. So same thing with Austin. Okay, Texas Plates, this dude is full of shit. All right, thanks, Texas Plates. This is Wolfie King Alex. Wolfie King, good to see you, dude. Glad you're here. I haven't seen you before, so I appreciate you coming to the stream. Okay, yeah, my city has healed since Trump. My city has healed since Trump. That's good. Again, Wolf, let us know where you're at. What city you're... Again, I've been talking about a few of these cities. Again, when you go to them, you just feel the vitality and the energy in them. Again, not a lot of small towns, but some of these big cities like Austin, I was in Miami, again, Manhattan, New York. It just seems like there's a lot. I mean, even like New Orleans, like these cities feel like they're just alive. It's very cool. Okay, this is Lisa McPizza's in here. Off topic. I love your leg lab. Thanks, Lisa. And again, everyone loves the leg lab. We always talk about it. Again, we talk about anything in these streams. The main topic is Trump is the liar in chief, right? Trump is the great deceiver. I voted for Trump. I swore to Trump every time this guy ran for president, I thought he would be great for us. It's been terrible. Like the guy is just like, I'm wildly disappointed with Mr. Trump, and it pains me to say that. Okay, John Briggs, 6721. We are so fortunate to have President Trump. Yet again, maybe he's better than Kamala. I don't know, man. I'm wildly disappointed. Arctic Duster comeback. Great comeback, Texas, just like Trump making statements without backing it up with facts. Okay, it seems like Texas is doing great. Texas, Pete's regulation didn't stop the housing market. Inflation did. So my industry is the furniture industry. So if you guys want to talk housing, like my industry is correlated with housing, okay? Here's what really happened with housing, okay? Inflation crushed housing. There's no doubt about it. You can't have house prices, and this is, again, all due to COVID. This is all from printing money and shutting the economy down, right? Which you can blame on Trump because he technically shut it down. He might even get bad information, but he technically shut it down, okay? What you had happen is you had an insane amount of money get pushed into the economy, right? $8 trillion. I think Trump signed I forget what the bill was at the time. $8 trillion. You told everyone to stay home, okay? So all the people that had money, they moved. They got the fuck out of these places that were locked down. They moved out in the suburbs, right, where they could actually do things, right? The essential workers had to stay and do the work, right, which is wildly messed up. But anyway, so all these people that moved out of the suburbs drove prices up for everything, right? City prices went down, suburb prices through the roof. Went up as much as 50%, right? Anyone that tried to buy a home, you guys remember all the FOMO, everyone trying to move around? What happened to my business? I grew 3x in 1 year. So I went from doing 500 pieces to 1,500 in 1 year, okay? It's impossible to grow, which meant I had to pay people whatever they needed to make to work. I had to pay for whatever I needed for supplies. Everybody had to do this, which drove the cost of everything up exponentially. When demand came down, the prices never came down with it. They told you guys that it was supply chains. They told you guys that they couldn't get chips. They told you guys they couldn't get lumber. They told you guys that the ships weren't moving cargo. The container prices went through the roof. Containers went from about $4,000 a piece to $20,000 a piece, okay? Everything inflated. The prices never came back down. And some things they did, right? But that drove the prices of homes way up. So everyone decided they had all this money, right? Oh my God, I'm so rich. I'm going to make all this money. It's going to be amazing. Now that the inflation has kicked in from all of that, rates have to come up, right? Your interest rates have to come up to counteract the inflation. Well, as the rates have come up, it's slowed everybody down except the people that have the money, except the people that have the assets. They're still spending. So when Trump put in all these new tax policies, my customer base has only went, when tariffs came in, my customer base has only went up. So this is the K-shaped economy. So everyone is riding about here. The wealthy are doing this. And so they're buying my furniture. They're still buying tons of homes. They're buying anything that's expensive. They're literally propping up the entire economy, guys. Like, and you guys can't get ahead because you can't get paid what you need to get paid. If you want to make good money, they just bring the third world in here and take your job. Or if you really want to make money, they can't bring the third world in, they send your job to the third world. Like, you guys can't catch a fucking break, you know? And again, the tariff thing, Trump just slaps new tariffs on. And again, the people that are going to get all the money back on tariffs are going to be companies like me. We're going to get all the money. You guys aren't going to get a fucking thing. You know, so you guys cannot catch a break. And now you're going to pay for a war. You're $38 trillion in debt. All this stuff makes so much sense. Again, my business is tied to the housing market. So housing market is actually moving just fine if you're rich. If you're poor, you're fucked. So sorry, dude. Okay, Matt Mrs. says language matters, mouth needs to be washed up. So okay, and this is live streams. Again, I'm not educated. I didn't graduate high school. I'm just a small business owner. Here's the thing. Real people talk this way. Small business owners, we talk this way. Again, I'm not going to be some character for you guys. Oh my God, look, Eric's on the live stream. Go get the little kids. That ain't happening. I ain't going to have that kind of a stream. We're going to talk about real things. This is adult conversations, talking about adult issues. So if you don't like it, go find another stream. There's lots of people talking about what I'm talking about. Okay, Bodicastra, Trump wants term limits. Demonstrate silent on that. Again, Trump says a lot of things. He just doesn't do it, right? Trump is the master of what's called the credible threat. You know, he loves saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And again, almost nothing happens, right? He likes to talk about doing things, and he'll even do a little bit of something, but then he pulls back and he wants to see how people react. And that's how he makes his decisions, is based on the reactions, right? If you read his book, The Art of the Deal, like, he drops a grenade, right, in the room, and he watches and sees what happens when it explodes. This is how Trump operates. And I thought it would be a good way to operate, but it doesn't seem like it's been good for America. It doesn't seem like it's been good for, again, if you're in the military, man, it's not going to be good for you. I know that. Greed. This is Lisa McPeace. Lisa, I'm glad you're here, man. I like to see when women are in here. I like to see when we get, YouTube is a predominantly male oriented platform. Do you guys know this? I think 60% of all the people on YouTube are men. So it's nice that we get women in here. So I appreciate being here, Lisa. Okay, greed is the cause for the housing market. 100%. Again, the people that have when the prices went up, right? So you went from a home that was $200,000 before COVID to being $350,000 after COVID. The people have all this money. They see it all there. They're not going to sell it unless they can get the price that they want for it. But again, now that rates are high, there's nobody can move from a house that had a 3% mortgage into a house that has a 6% mortgage if it's the same size, right? There's no way that someone's going to basically double their mortgage payment to move into the same size house. It's just not going to happen. Or to move into a more expensive home, they're not going to pay more money. And again, when the housing prices went up, guys, guess what happened to all your property taxes? They went up too. What do you think happened to all your insurance? Everything in your life, guys, has gone up because of the inflation from COVID. Like everything. There is not a thing in this economy today, in this country, that has not gone up 50 to 100%. And when they tell you guys inflation's coming down, inflation is slowing down. It is not coming down. The economy does not work on deflation. It only works on inflation because they want you to have the incentive to buy today as opposed to tomorrow. With inflation, you're going to wait for deflation, you're going to wait for prices to come down, so you'll potentially buy tomorrow. They always want you buying today, which is stupid economics. Never graduated high school. Like I understand why things are the way that they are. And again, you're not going to get people to move from one home into another home when interest rates are double what they got during COVID. It's just not going to happen. So you got to fix that. I've talked about how to fix it. I've got a 2% tandem plan, which I've talked about many times. Seller finds a buyer, and the government buys down the rate 2 percentage points. So you go from 6% down to 4%. It costs the average taxpayer it costs $10,000 to facilitate the transaction. You get somebody moving from a home, and you get someone moving into a new home. The transaction creates 0.5 jobs. It will literally double house sales inside of a year. You go from moving 4 million homes a year to moving 8 million homes a year. It literally pays for itself. It's actually something that actually pays for itself. And it only costs the taxpayers money if people buy and sell homes. That's it. There's no we're just going to put a pot of money out there and anyone can access it. And again, it doesn't benefit the wealthy. It only benefits the middle class. But it incentivizes the home builders, Lennar, Pulte, D.R. Horton. It incentivizes them to build more homes so they can get that tax credit to sell homes. It creates tons of jobs. But you're never going to see it. It's never going to happen, guys. They don't want to fix this economy. This economy is leaving the average person behind. This is why I tell you guys all the time, start a fucking business. And I don't care if your business is reading books on YouTube. Get a membership going. Do something, because inflation is not going to go anywhere unless the economy crashes, guys. And again, that's bad for everybody. It's going to suck. But if you want prices to come down, it is the only way how home prices are going to go down. Trump even said it himself. Oh, I don't want home prices to go down. I want home prices to go up. I want to protect your investment. Okay? COVID was not an investment. People just were in the right place at the right time, and they don't want to let go of their homes because they think that money is real. That money is not real, guys. So, anyway, okay, I know people don't want to talk about housing, so sorry, guys. All right, let's hear what Matt's Utman 1158 says. Language matters. You need to wash your mouth. What's up, okay, cool. Fracking for oil. Yeah, that's what we do here, Lisa. Fracking is why we don't buy oil from the Middle East anymore, which is why the Middle East is literally irrelevant. But I can't get people to understand that going to war with this country over there makes no sense. It just makes it has to benefit America. There is nothing about going to war in Iran that benefits America. Like, if anyone knows anything, please let me know. I'm dying to know what the benefit is. So, okay. Wolf and Alex, term limits for all, 100%, man. I think that's exactly what we need. Term limits will really help this situation because right now, I mean, you got people, everybody lives on 2 and 4 year cycles. Like, we can't operate a country that way, guys. Like, we do almost nothing for the future. And again, unless Congress passes something, everything is done through executive order. I mean, you guys have noticed this. Every president just layers on just tons and tons of executive orders, and then the next president comes in, wipes them all clean, right, and then makes their own executive orders. Meanwhile, Congress just passes budgets, and they don't even pass real budgets anymore. They're not going through and doing what are called appropriation bills. They just do these omnibuses so that you don't know what they're voting for or what they're not voting for. So that's all they do, is continue to pass budgets and increase spending and increase spending and increase spending. That's all they do. They're doing nothing from a legislative standpoint to benefit you guys at all. And again, you're stuck with voting for shitty and shittier when it comes to your Congress, and nothing ever changes, guys. And this is the major problem in America today: is our Congress does nothing. The presidents come in and they just whack you from one side and then whack you to the other side. And it's this whipsaw constantly. And I don't know how we fix it, guys. Term limits I think would help, but man, I don't know, man. Okay, Grippy Foreskin, man. Great name. I love Grippy Foreskin. Okay, let's see. He's got to be Goonbait Maxing. Okay, here's this word. Again, you kids, like, you use these words. I've heard this thing, looks maxing, you know, politic maxing, car maxing, clothes maxing, lifestyle maxing. Like, you guys, like, we've talked about this shit forever. And gooning, like, come on, like, you guys are so special that you need your own words. Like, use the right word. Stop coming up with your own language. Like, the newer generations are so narcissistic. It's hilarious. Okay, my business grows every year. Maybe you just got a shitty business. And again, I'm a real business owner. You're not a real business. You can't tell me your business grows every year, okay? 80% of small businesses don't make it to 5 years because no business grows in that 5 years, year after year. There's no such thing as a business that just grows year after year. Doesn't exist, okay? Unless you're some mega corporation that has influence, every business has a down year. Every business has 2 down years. Again, I've told you guys the story many times. Like, I've been in business 10 years. I've had to sell my supercars in order to make payroll. I've had to mortgage my home. Like, I've had to do all kinds. I've had to take out tons of crack loans. I've had to max out credit cards. I've had to do all kinds of things. And then other years, I'm able to pay all that shit off because this is what it's like to run a business. This is constant back and forth for most of us. Again, I'm an idiot. I don't claim to be smart. This is my experience. This is how I've grown this business. So yeah, Pete, I don't believe you're a real business owner, to be quite honest with you. But anyway, and again, my business is theresplendentcrow.com. Go there. You see all of our beautiful furniture. Texas Pete's, put your business in. Let everyone go to your site. Again, if you're a real business owner, you probably want people to come visit your site and potentially buy your shit, but I'm guessing you don't really have a business, dude. Okay, let's see. This OG Nomad. Okay, no, this is Independent Aim says Jews. All right. We got Butts Carlton. Hold on. We got Kids Fishing. It's all about the work you put in. If you don't push, you don't grow. And Kids Fishing, I agree 100%, man. Great fucking comment, dude. The problem is that we got a weak society, man. If you try and tell people this, you're going to inevitably get a ton of people that are going to say, oh, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's 100% true, guys. You get out of life what you put into it. And again, this is why I've worked 70 hours a week my entire life. I've told you guys many times, I've had years where the bulk of my paychecks have more overtime than they do straight pay when I was working for somebody else. You know, it's just, you get out of life what you put into it. That's why I've always had really nice cars and really nice homes. I bought my first home when I was 21. Like, you get out of life what you put into it. However, it's getting much more difficult. Like, as a business owner, I see that there is this thing called the K-shaped economy. And it's getting much more difficult for average people to follow the path, right? To graduate from high school, go get a college degree, and then go make some money. Like, that path is dying faster than ever, right? This idea that you can just get a high school education and go make real money is starting to grow. If you get a job while you're in high school working for, like, say, work for a company like mine where we make furniture, I'll teach you stuff when you're really young. You prove you can show up really young to work every day. You want to learn. You're reliable. I can count on you to do all kinds of things. The sky's the limit. You could be a furniture maker like me. You could be a saleswoman like my wife. You could be a painter like my friend Noe. You could be a cabinet maker like Nazar, right? You could be one of these people that assembles furniture for us. I mean, you could do all kinds of things, but you got to apply yourself, and it takes a lot of time. And truth is, most people don't want to take the time, and most people aren't that reliable, and most people put their personal life before their professional life. And wildly unpopular thing to say, and people always get pissed off. They always think that they're the one that's doing it right. When again, if you actually look at what they do in life, they're not really putting in the work, you know. And you always lose people. Again, my stream always drops crazy. Like, oh, here goes Eric, you know, old man speaking, you know, boomer talk, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that most people have deluded themselves into thinking what real work is. And again, as a guy who never graduated high school, just busted his ass his entire life, I fucking figured it out. I didn't have to go to college. You know, but I did have to learn to operate in society. I did have to learn to be the guy that was always there when somebody needed something done. I always had to be the guy that was going to volunteer for everything. That's what sent me around the world doing aerospace work, right? You always have to be there because, again, the harder you work, the harder you work, the luckier you're going to get. It's a truism. I forget who said it, like Benjamin. No, I think Mark Twain said it. Very true. So, okay, but again, Kids Fishing, I love your comment, man. Thank you so much. Okay, Butts Carlton's throwing a bunch of junk in here. Avalon Dre, 8182 Lamp. Yeah, hell yeah, man. Christmas Story, represent. All right, I guess it'd be Christmas Story. All right, let's see, Lamp. Okay, Bodicasta Furniture Makers. We're 100% union once. Okay, Bodicasta, that has nothing to do with anything. Okay, maybe that's why they're all gone. Okay, let's see. Tim Hahn, 3701. You need mental help. Okay, thanks, dude. Avalon again. I love the lamp. Again, cool. It's official. People that love the Christmas story. I love Christmas movies. I don't know if you guys, I love Christmas time. I love the music. I love the movies. I love the smell of, pine. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's just very nostalgic. I don't know why you guys like Christmas. I love Christmas. Okay, let's see. Were you alive in the late 70s? This has been overdue for 47 years. This is Ken Bro. Ken Bro, you always have good comments, man. 1512. So I was born in 79. So technically I would say no, I wasn't alive in the 70s. So I'm curious what you're talking about. This has been overdue for 47 years. Let's let me know, dude. Okay, Texas Pete. So now we're just making up shit. Okay, cool. Avalon 8180. It's overtaken with TDS. Okay, I don't think I got Trump derangement syndrome. Okay, let's talk about something else. You're a real bummer. Okay, so should we get back to war? You guys want to get back to war? Want to go over exactly why we shouldn't be in the Middle East and get some relevant information going on? I'd be happy to talk to you guys. But again, I want to stay up on the comments. So god dang, you guys are just throwing them in here. If you guys want your comment read right away, throw a gift in there, throw a super chat. I'll read it right away. I'm going to go through 5 more comments. Then we're going to go back to reading from notes. We're going to get an update from X and see exactly what's really going on in the news right now, because again, you guys are going to be fed so much propaganda. It's going to be insane. Everyone's going to try to drape themselves in their flags, and we don't know if this is going to spill over into other countries, right? Like I just read before I got on the stream that Abu Dhabi got hit with some missiles, right? So what's that mean, right? So that's again some place that we're supposed to want to go, a very wealthy state over there. That's just one. Like, we're gonna missiles going to get thrown into Saudi Arabia? Are they going to get thrown into Kuwait, Jordan? Like again, how much is going to happen to this region, from this America over there fucking with people? I don't know. So, all right, a couple more comments, then we're going to dig into a little bit more news. Okay, Puffle. This is Puffle Upagus. Great name. Okay, don't get it twisted, lefties. I hate Trump because he isn't going hard enough on immigration. You think he is too hard. 100%. Puffle Upagus, I agree with you 1,000%. And again, I've said it many times, like, if people are in schools, you go grab their kids, you snatch them, right? If they're on the job site, you go snatch the husband, you snatch them. If it's women at home, you go snatch them, you snatch them all, and you put them in a cage, and you throw them the fuck out of here. Or Congress can actually do its job and fix the immigration process. You want to give these people amnesty? Give them amnesty. I'm completely okay with it either way, but follow the law. And this is the thing. All these bleeding heart lefties, they just love it when all these people are in here. They suddenly have, oh my God, give them process. They deserve lawyers. They deserve judges. They are so into process and rights, but they don't care that they broke the law the minute they came in here. They're completely okay with that because they're good for society. They're good for Americans. What am I going to do without my nanny? Where am I going to get my strawberries? Who's going to cut my grass, right? Who's going to build my houses? Like, bitch, were you alive before all this immigration? Who the fuck do you think did all that stuff? We did it. And it used to be okay. But again, you put women in the workforce, you drag the women all out of the home, you put them, you drag them out of the schools, you put them in the workplace. Again, like, what do you expect to happen? Who's going to do all that work now? Like, it... Again, it sounds a little bit chauvinistic of me, and you can say whatever you guys want about me, but I think this is where it all stemmed from, to be completely honest with you. Okay, let's see. Anthony, excuse me, is it Anthony? No, Anthony. Anthony H. K6N. Some for sure, but does U.S. have the infrastructure? I don't know. Okay, well, most of us come from China and Germany, and we're busy ones, so stick to them for a decade. Okay, again, clearly I'm missing something. Christian, this is a Christian Medwid 852. You must be a moron if you voted for Trump 3 times. Again, I was one of those people. And again, I'm completely open to say that. I'm not. I wear my flaws on my sleeve. I'm open to learn things. I'm open to hear conversations with people. So let's see what we got going on here. So I think we're going to dig back into some more news, guys. I'm going to go through some more of the stuff that I originally started the stream on. I always engage with people, but give me a few minutes. Let me go through some of this content, and then we'll jump back into comments. I want to jump back here on X, and I want to see exactly what's going on. It looks Fifth Fleet was hit in Bahrain, right, with some Iranian missiles. And again, everyone's like, oh my God, the people on X are just, they're insufferable with how dramatic and bombastic they are. Other things we're seeing here on X. So it looks like we got a lot of the Trump stuff going on here. They're going to go after Iran's missile industry, which again, I was telling you guys, like Iran and Iraq, these are wildly different things, guys. Like Iran actually has a military industrial complex. It's a very different. And again, Trump loves to talk about proxies. Everyone talks about proxies. Like, again, America is the king of proxy, guys. And again, I got a real problem with our double standard speak here in America. Again, Israel can have all the bombs, all the reactors, all the uranium, all the plutonium. It can have everything. Everyone else in the Middle East can't have it, right? And they claim it's because of the NPT. Like, that's not really what happened, okay? Nixon gave Israel special treatment back then. And again, all the rules apply to every other country that's in the NPT, but because Israel didn't have to join, none of the rules apply to them. And again, we're using this as a reason to go into Iran, which is really frustrating. It's very dishonest, and people need to know this information. So, all right, what else do we got here? We got Doha, Qatar. Okay, well, we got some smoke here in Doha, Qatar. Okay, again, Qatar, one of our allies. We're spending a lot of money in Qatar. We get more value out of Qatar than we get from Israel. Yet, we're over there. Did Qatar ask for us to be there? No, they didn't. Did Saudi Arabia ask for us to be there? No, they didn't. One country asked us to be there. That's why we're there. It's wildly frustrating. Okay, and again, we got 10,000 troops over there. So that's, again, no boots on the ground. Sounds like we might have boots on the ground. We have a base in Qatar, if you guys don't know this. And again, our president will use this and say, oh, they're going after Americans. We have to protect Americans. They're going to go after American military. Yeah, we put the fucking military there, and then we launched a strike in this country. What did we expect them to do? Like, and they're going to use this again as some reason. Oh, we have to go defend our troops. When we send our people over there and instigate, you can't then use the military. Oh, we got to defend our people. Like, you guys see how hypocritical this is? It's just like, it's like literally like poking a snake, and then you get mad at the snake when it bites you. Like, Jesus Christ, man. It's wildly frustrating, guys. Let's see here. Iran's foreign minister just called every Gulf state he's currently bombing. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Iraq. So we'll see what that says. And again, here's all the cucks. Carl Higbee, crush them. And you're going to have all the... Mike Benz is one of the only people, I think, that is not pushing this thing. Again, Sean McGuire loves Israel. Again, says this is not World War III. He says this is Desert Storm 2.0 at once. Okay, again, perfectly okay with it. Again, and this is the thing I don't like about this. You have a lot of people that are very pro-Israel, and then you have people that are not pro-America, right? It's pro-Israel or nothing. And I don't like this. Again, I'm pro-American. I care about what's good for the American people. I care about what's good for the American business owner. I care about what is good for the American taxpayer, right? A lot of these people, they're one issue voters. They're one issue people on X. They're one issue people on Fox News. And it's very telling. And again, it's very unpatriotic in my estimation, but that's just me. And again, I got no problems with this. Israel wants to go, fuck with everyone over in the Middle East, go for it. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. Again, you want to buy my weapons? Right, I'll sell you weapons, but I'm not sending my people over there. I'm not sending my military over there. I'm not participating because I got fucking problems here in America to deal with. We got people that need our resources here. They need our time here. And we're over there messing with everyone. You got all these people, again, showing the planes flying. They're doing the patriotic this and the patriotic that. And again, I think these days are over. I don't think this war is going to go down the way you guys think it is. This is not Iraq 2.0, okay? This is not going to be CNN over there watching us, watching the tanks roll, watching the missiles, hit the targeted strikes in Iraq, okay? It's not going to end up like this, guys. Again, maybe we'll go in there in a day, a week, and we'll be out. I would be more surprised if that happened than anything, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah, it's interesting, so we'll see what happens. But again, if you're one of these people in the military, is this what you want to fight for? Do you really want to fight for the country of Israel, right? Do you really want to be over in Iran? Do you really, is this what you guys want? Like, I'm curious. I would love to know. So, all right, let's go to, I'm going to dig down to the end here. Let's go to the last couple comments here and start reading again. Okay, Anthony H, K6N, it doesn't make sense, does it? Can't be ideology this one. Yeah, and again, I don't know what the hell is going on. Your PS wouldn't care for liberation or etc. Okay, Jesus in here. We allies all over Middle East. We allies. Okay, well, okay. Get out of AI now. This is about Acostra. Anthony K6N. Yeah, bail on AI. It's a cool thing that's misused. I love AI. I use AI every day. I talk to I guess it's all them. I talk to Grok constantly. Like when I'm driving to work, I'm talking, and again, I talk about things like the Middle East. I talk about tax policy. I talk about, the historical significance of whatever, World War II. I just talk about all kinds of things, and it's fantastic listening to Grok talk back to you about the aggregation of all the information in the world over the entire span of history, and it's a lot of fun, so you guys need to try it out if you get a chance. Okay, Butacostra, but you're at a boutique business, of course, you have limited growth. Of course I have limited growth. With a boutique business, you're going to have that. But you have to expand your product lines, right? Which is why when I knew that we were going to slow down on the furniture side, what I did is I moved out of selling antique and vintage furniture and I moved into selling new furniture, which caused my business to expand, but more importantly, caused my margins to grow. I probably tripled my margins when I went to making new furniture. New furniture sells for more. It's easier to make, uses a lot of the same components, right? Vintage furniture, hard to procure. You always got to go get it. Every piece of furniture has different hardware. Every piece of furniture has different style, different woods, different everything. So again, that's one of the things we had to do. Another thing we did to grow our business was that we moved into the hardware game, right? So we hooked up with some companies in India where they make all the brass hardware. We started selling brass hardware. Brass hardware has a probably 70% profit margin. It's very high. So again, you're able to grow your revenue this way. So again, you expand your product lines as often as you can. You make sure you put out a really good product, and your business grows with inflation, right? So we don't lose money when the cost of everything goes up. We just charge more, and because we sell to the 2 or 3% in America, we're always selling, right? Rich people are always buying stuff. So again, our sales continue to grow, but we learned this after losing a ton of money during COVID. Again, I tell you guys, I was making more money during COVID than I ever had in my life, but we were also spending it faster than we were making it because you had to hire tons of people. You had to pay whatever cost you needed for materials, whatever you needed to ship things, whatever you needed to pay for fuel. It was wild times because I got a 10-year education in like 2 years when it comes to running a business and how the economy works. So, okay, but Costa, good comment, man. All right, let's see, Anthony KH, can't recall the name, but ever see the AI chatbot that has trained by Twitter? I think that's Claude. No, I'm sorry, are you talking about by Twitter? Are you talking about Twitter as it is now, which is X, or are you talking about Twitter as it was back when Vijaya Gadde was running Twitter? Like which one? I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Because Twitter now is Grok, right? Which is X. I use Grok all day, every day. I'm constantly talking to Grok about all kinds of things. Okay, but Coaster brother, you're like 20 years behind. I can tell you come from money. Okay, again, I grew up in a double wide trailer. My wife literally makes fun of me. You know, she makes me, well, she calls it blue collar pie. You know, like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I grew up from nothing. Like, so anyway, and again, the great thing about my story is that I literally came from nothing. I had to move all over the country and chase the work that was available. I built my skills over 20 years, and then I was able to start a business. I met a woman who knew how to sell furniture. I knew how to make furniture, and we grew this thing into what it is now. It's a great story. And also, my mother came from nothing as well and had no money, and she ended up being wildly successful later on in life, which is, again, anyone can do it. It just takes a ton of work. My mother traveled 280 days a year to sell software to people, and again, turn this thing into something where she became partner at the firm she was at and became wildly successful. So there are people that can come from nothing, work really hard, tell their story, and I think that it applies to more people. And again, I think it's a great conversation when you talk to people that are normies, and again, people that have made it, not the best of the best, but just slightly above average. I think the stories are very valuable, you know. So anyway. Okay, all right, let's go ahead. We'll do more comments. I want to go over a few more notes here, stuff that I wrote down. I want to get to the stuff. I spent a lot of time this morning going over these things. We're at 2 hours right now. I want to continue to go over this stuff. If you guys want to hang out in the stream, hit the like button, add the discussion. I will get back into comments, but let me just go through my notes real quick because there was some stuff in here that I thought was kind of valuable. There's things that we're doing in America that are trouble. One of the things I wrote down is that America creates generational hate. And this is one of the things that we do when we go over to the Middle East. We think that we're creating people that will grow to love America, that will want to be like America. And what happens is these countries become monarchies, right? They become dictatorships, and then those dictatorships and monarchies serve America because they sell us oil. When your country doesn't have oil, America doesn't care about you, which is wildly frustrating. It's one of the reasons that America isn't going over to places like Africa, because there's no fucking resources over there that we really need, which is wildly sad, but it is what it is. And when I tell you guys that the Middle East is irrelevant now, it's because we don't get oil there. All the oil comes from Canada, comes from Mexico, guys. We're not getting oil from the Middle East the way we used to. 6% of our oil comes from Saudi Arabia. That's it. You know, so is it really worth sending billions and billions of dollars over there every year? You know, we do $10 billion worth of business with Saudi Arabia as it pertains to oil every year. Is that really worth sending your entire Navy over there? Is that really worth destabilizing Syria, Lebanon? Oh, God, what are all the countries? Afghanistan, Iraq, what's the other one? Yemen. I always forget about Yemen. Like, is it really worth destabilizing all these countries over there? And for what? to get oil. Like, we don't get oil from there anymore. Like, I don't know if you guys know this or not. The only thing that's over there that we give two shits about is the state of Israel. And again, what do we get from Israel? We have $30 billion, no, I tell you what, we have $40 billion of trade between us and Israel. Is that really worth sending our Navy over there? What, because we protect democracy? Okay, America doesn't give a fuck about democracy. If we did, we would make all of our shit in China. Okay, again, all the bullshit you guys buy, you buy it all from China. Like, again, are you super patriotic? Do you care about liberating people? Do you care about freedom when you buy all your shit from communist countries? Like, the #1 furniture producer in the world is Vietnam. It's a socialist country. It's a communist country. Like, do you guys feel good about that? Again, we do, hundreds of billions of dollars of business with communist China. We're working on hundreds of billions of dollars with communist Vietnam. Like, what are we doing as a country? Like, where is your fucking balls, guys? Like, where is your, like, when are you going to stand up for the average American citizen? Every time you guys buy something from China, and again, I'm not saying you can't buy stuff from China. We all have to. It's not something we can just turn off like that. But I'm here to tell you guys that a massive tariff on the country of China, a massive tariff on the country of Vietnam would get business going in the right direction here in America, would bring your guys' wages up by making American businesses have to hire American workers, right? You want to see the cost of goods come down in America? Get rid of the regulations. So when all your academics and all your smart people tell you that you have to have lots of OSHA, you have to have lots of EPA, you have to have lots of transportation. The Code of Federal Regulations was 5,000 pages in the 1950s. It's something like 80,000 pages now, right? Do you feel like America's much safer than it was back in the 50s? Do you guys feel like your products are much better than they were in the 50s? Okay, they're not. You guys are literally being regulated to death. And if they can't regulate you to death, they send the work to the third world where there's no regulations, which is why you guys can't make any money. Jesus Christ, like, this is not complicated, guys. And then you're sending your military right now over to a country, or excuse me, over to a region where we don't even use the fucking main export of that region, which is oil. Like, this is not complicated, guys. Like, I don't understand. So America, what we export is hate. We export death, right? This is not good. Okay, other things I wrote down was the Epstein connection, right? So the Epstein files will not go away. If you look at, there's clearly a connection between the state of Israel and our CIA and our FBI. There's some kind of honeypot, blackmail operation. Powerful people, tech people, they love little girls. And I don't know why this is. There's something about these young little girls that tantalizes these guys. And again, even if you don't have any evidence that these guys did this stuff, there's more and more touch points going on in this conspiracy theory that makes a lot of people seem very dirty, like wildly dirty. And the businesses and the governments here in America are not prosecuting any of the people. Now, over in Europe, they're prosecuting all of them. But here in America, nothing is happening, which is insane. And I think that this conflict over there has something to do with this blackmail operation. I cannot imagine Trump going over there and doing this right now. And I know he said for a long time, Iran cannot have a bomb. Iran cannot have a bomb. Okay, they always point to Trump saying that. But what they don't point to is Bibi Netanyahu saying that Israel is 95% to having a bomb for the last 35 years. So somebody's lying, right? Someone is not telling the truth. And again, we just went and bombed Iran, right? We went and bombed their 3 big nuclear power reactor sites, whatever the fuck you call them. But everyone's not talking about that. They're just like, okay, well, it didn't work. Again, Trump said it worked. Our government said it worked. It was wildly successful. Which is it? Did it work or did it not work? Clearly it didn't work. Or did it work, but the Epstein thing is such a big deal that Israel says, you know what, you're going to come over and do this shit. Otherwise, we're going to start leaking more information. Or Israel saying, hey, we got nukes, and we're going to go nuke Iran if you don't come over and help us, even though they're not supposed to have anything. They've never claimed to have anything. They're allowed to have nukes. They're allowed to have everything. Iran can't, right? Syria couldn't. Libya couldn't. Saudi Arabia doesn't have nukes. But again, this one little country can have all that stuff. I find that to be really weird. And then if we point to another country, what's the last country that got nukes, right? North Korea. North Korea is literally off the west coast. It's 300 nautical miles from the west coast, okay? Iran, it's almost 7,000 nautical miles Okay, so again, the problem is that if you get a nuke, no one can fuck with you anymore. And that's the thing. Like, again, it's mutually assured destruction when you let people have nukes. And again, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I know that if Iran had nukes, Israel wouldn't be fucking with them, right? Nobody would be fucking with them, right? Things would probably settle down in that region, if I'm being completely honest. And I could be way off here. I could be way off. I'm not claiming to know anything, but I do find it kind of interesting that with the proliferation of this Epstein story, and again, our government not being able to crush this story, suddenly we're going to war in Iran, a place where we have almost no need to be there. The oil is not coming from the Middle East anymore. It comes from our neighbors here in our hemisphere. But again, we're over there acting as if it's 2001 again, and we got to go defend democracy. Okay, I think it's a wild amount of hypocrisy and a wild amount of propaganda and lies going on, and that's how I see it, guys. So anyway, that's some of the stuff I wanted to talk about. I'll dig back into comments, and again, midterms are going to be awful, guys. I don't think American people are going to see this. I think that because of places like X where we can get real information, I think that Republicans just fucked themselves so hard. It's going to be nothing but trials and kicking people out of Congress. Anything you guys thought Trump was going to get done, which clearly he's not getting anything done, so maybe it's not going to be that big of a deal. When Democrats win, he's going to be a lame duck president. You're not going to get nothing done. It's just going to be nothing but bitching and fighting it between Congress members, and you guys are going to pay for all of it. All the hyperbole you guys are going to see, all the when they drag Trump before Congress, when they drag Pete Hegseth before Congress, when they drag J.D. Vance before Congress, they drag all these people before Congress. It's just, you guys are paying for all the shit, and that's all they really want, guys. They just want your tax dollars. It is just, it's so frustrating what's happening right now. Yeah, it's just, like I said, I'm so frustrated with what I'm seeing right now. So anyway, let's dig into more comments. Let's keep going. I'm going to go to the end here. We'll go to about halfway through. Okay, who's in here? We got Cowboy Baby Yoda's back in here. 6725. I'm a man of God, so I don't want young kids in cages away from their parents. Okay, well, if it's a turn to keep them from coming to America, that's what I want. Okay, and again, if you want to fix it, get your Congress to change the immigration rules. Get your Congress to give these people amnesty, and then we'll go that route. But until the rules change, they all got to go. Okay, let's see. Halo. Oh, Halo movie music. Okay, cool name, man. I love Halo. Okay, though that friggin' Halo movie music. Did you watch that Halo series on Paramount? I started to watch. I couldn't get into it. Was it good? Okay, Bodecaster still in here. Bodecaster, man, I appreciate being here. Even though you don't agree with me on a lot of things, you're still here, so I appreciate that. Okay, I don't know Americans might want those jobs. You talk like you come from money. Again, I hear this all the time, like, Americans don't want those jobs. Who's going to pick the strawberries? Who's going to do all this kind of work? And my mom got paid $2 a flat picking fucking strawberries in the 70s. So, we can't pick strawberries now. I'm sorry if you can't get whatever, bananas in the winter. Like, you'll live. There's other things you can get, okay? I'm sorry if you can't get tomatoes in the fall. Like, you'll live. Like, again, life goes on. Again, we've become so decadent here in America. We've become so entitled to the rest of the world's everything. Again, globalism made some of this possible, but again, they took all your jobs and they sent them to the third world, guys. The reason you can't make money is because all the work for the third world, if you won't work for what the companies will pay you, they'll just bring the third world in here and they'll pay them. And guess what? They don't bitch. Like, all you fucking people, you're expensive to insure. You bitch about everything. You won't get off your fucking phones. You smell like weed. You take breaks, whatever you want. You act as if you own the fucking place. Like, again, why would companies hire you guys? Illegal immigrants, they'll come in here. They work for less wages. They don't bitch about anything. They're happy to have a job. They've never seen so much opportunity and wealth in their lives. You guys act like you're all broke. These guys think they're fucking rich being here. You guys are playing a losing game. And I keep trying to tell you guys, the reason corporations do this is because you have access to the third world, guys. Put a 400% tariff on everything. Again, it's going to suck for a year or two, but they will hire you guys at real American wages. Cut off the third world, guys. You want to make money? It's how you do it. But again, you're not going to be able to get cheap electronic wires for all your shit. You're not going to be able to not look for things in your home because it's easier just to order on Amazon again because it's dirt cheap. Like, those days will be over. You can still have your cheap televisions, but your cars are going to get expensive. Fruit's probably going to get expensive. Maybe beef will drop in price. Oil will drop in price, but what do I know? Okay, we got Don G, T2F. So you voted for Trump because you have the same mindset and the same views. No, I don't, Dom. In fact, I've talked this many times. I've been at this for 2 hours. If you were in here early, you would have heard me tell you my views. Okay, Iran said they would use nukes when they get them. Okay, again, everyone talks shit. Again, we're just going to go fight everyone that has something bad to say about America. Is that really, is that how you're going to live your life? Someone says something bad about you, what, you're going to go fight them? Again, what are you, a fucking infant? Like everyone talks shit on America. And again, when you go over and you bomb tons of countries, like, again, you're just making enemies, dude. Like, I don't know if you understand this. This is, again, this has got your mindset here is infantile. Oh, Iran said, oh, this guy said I was bad. I'm gonna go punch him. Like, Jesus, grow up, man. Okay, Christian Medwide, 852. If the Strait of Hormuz is closed, gas going to $10 a gallon. Again, like, Christian, you're crazy. I mean, you're fucking crazy, dude. Again, look, go on the internet. Like, do some research, man. 50% of our oil comes from Canada. What are you talking about? America uses 20 million barrels a day. 13 of those million are produced right here in America through hydraulic fracturing. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, if all of our oil goes onto the market where everybody has access to it, guess what? We're paying the fair market price, and the fair market price might shoot up to $100 a barrel, $150 a barrel. I'm not saying that it won't. But again, America gets all of its oil from Canada and Mexico, not the Middle East, okay? I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, again, like, you guys are living in like 1970 or the year 2000. Like, you're not living in reality. Like, God, there's got to be someone here that works in the fucking oil industry in our comments. Like, give these people the real facts. Like, Jesus Christ. So I became human. Okay, let's see. Don't comment channel. All right, don't show us go. This is Brett Barnes, 1520. Sanilu, I bet you have fun chatting with AI. I love chatting with AI. It's fun. Okay, Cowboy Baby Yoda. 6725, I think he's about 20 comments up. Okay, I'm trying to get caught up, guys. I'm doing good. About a caster, I'm aware that brass products, very high end. They are very high end. Okay, probably good for about 250 grand a year in revenue. And again, 7% margin, so you can do a lot with that money. Okay, let's see. Jared, Baird, this, fucking male, Karen, still rambling. Again, still rambling. I appreciate being here, Beard. Cowboy Yoda, 6725. Well, I say that's a good grassroots story. Okay, it's just, and again, I think it's what people need to hear more stories about real people doing real shit. I think that most people's stories are pretty normal. Mine, I think, is a fairly normal story, but everyone wants to hear, again, they want to hear the story of you know, the guy that, you know, came from poverty, living in Haiti, and then he came over here, became an American citizen. He went to Yale, and he became, you know, valedictorian and graduated cum laude, and then he became, you know, whatever. Like, I just don't think those stories are relatable anymore. Like, again, I grew up in a double-wide trade in the middle of fucking nowhere in Corvallis, Oregon. I had to move around a bunch. I couldn't afford to live in Oregon, but I chased the work that I was doing, which was building cabinets, making furniture, got really good at it, became the guy that volunteered for everything, started doing all the R&D work, was the guy that got to the Boeing Defense Center. So I've worked on all the E-4B planes, the Doomsday planes. I've worked on Air Force One, Air Force Two. I've worked on the Sultan of Brunei's plane. I've worked on Michael Jordan's plane. I worked on everybody's planes because I got really fucking good at doing this thing. And then I was able to parlay it into a business by meeting the right woman, okay? I think the story is very relatable. Again, I didn't come from poverty. I'm not black. I'm not a lesbian, oppressed woman. You know, I didn't, you know, I don't have one arm. Like, it's just, I think these stories are fairly normal, and people need to get more information from normal people. So anyway, okay, yeah, mom is rich. Okay, yeah, Gary did. Okay, work hard my ass. Okay, Votocaster called it. Votocaster. Forever Discipline. Okay, you're new in here. Appreciate this. Okay, DS is strong with this one, idiot. Okay, thanks, Forever Discipline. Hit the like button, add the discussion, as always. Hansa A, M5S, you seem well informed. I believe that I'm well informed. Like I said, I think that a lot of people like to get on here and they like to just comment to get a reaction. They like to see their comment. It's all they got going on in their life, and it's really sad. But again, happy to interact with people, and I hope that I can, again, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to know how to make furniture, you want to know how business works, you want to learn how to paint furniture, you want to learn how to work with metal, you want to learn the back end of how to run a company, you know, as a guy that came from freaking nothing, you know, so. Okay, I hate war anyway. Yep, again, I think everyone hates war at this point. Rob J7, J5, CIFA, MI6, all created same year. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'll have to live in it. Okay, Hudson, you're rambling. I know, we ramble on these things. Okay, again, this isn't Fox News, guys. This isn't CNN. This is just a normie. I'm not a professional speaker. Like, what do you guys expect? What am I supposed to be all things to all people? I can't do that. It's impossible. So, okay, let's see. You're on meth. Nope, I just talk fast when I get on YouTube. Okay, you're all over the place. Bodicastra, if that were true, would Ukraine be bombing Moscow? Okay, if what were true? And again, Ukraine isn't bombing Moscow, dude. America's bombing Moscow. Okay, let's see. John Hanger, 3967, greatest president ever. I don't know, man. Trump had like a lot of potential, man. Like I thought he was going to go down as one of the greatest presidents ever, but like he's falling apart on everything. Again, other than tax cuts and other than trying to do tariffs, trying to do mass deportations. I mean, he did tax cuts and closing the border. I think that's about it. You guys got anything else? You know, he's potentially going to kill a lot of Americans. He's going to make a lot of foreign enemies. Do you guys feel better about everything? You know, he taxed you guys with the tariffs. You paid higher prices for everything. And now he's going to give the money back to me, the business owner. Like, do you feel good about that? I don't feel good about that. I feel kind of dirty taking that money, if I'm being completely honest. Okay, we need them for regional strategic interests. Okay, what are those interests? Tell me the strategic interests. I really want to know this. Let me know what those interests are. And then we'll talk about every other country that we've taken over and see if that same theory applies. Okay, well, it's 26 Americans. We'll pick turds for a living. Okay, Boda Castro. Spirit 859, you're back in here. Appreciate seeing you. Free Iran. Okay, and again, I think that's a good thing. I think the Iranian people probably want to be free. The problem is that every time we go to liberate one of these countries, they just spiral into an even worse situation. And again, you think you're safe over here in America. You're super virtuous. You know all the right answers. You got all the right things going on. All of the things that we have here in America does not translate to anywhere we've ever been. I don't know why. I'm not saying I have the answers. I don't. But I know that when we go to all these countries, they get worse. They don't get better. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Iran needs to be free. And again, are any of the countries we went to free? Name one country we went to that we liberated that's free. Name one of them. Put in the chat. I'm going to go down to the very end. Let's hear it. Let's hear it right now. Name one country we went to over the Middle East that's now free. Okay. None of them are free. Like, I don't know if you guys know this. Like, Afghanistan, it's literally ruled by warlords. You know, Iraq, the government failed. They all ran. Like Syria's decimated, okay? All the refugees came here to America. I hired one of them. I know what really happened in Syria, okay? Again, what do we got here? Where is it? Okay, Kuwait. We didn't liberate Kuwait, fuckhead. You're fucking retarded. Like, Iraq invaded Kuwait. We just went over there and stopped Iraq from invading Kuwait. Kuwait was already doing just fine. Like, what? You're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Fucking uninformed degenerate. Again, I know, ha ha ha, exactly. Again, I know, you fucking know you're retarded. Okay, okay, we're not well informed, no offense. Okay, good. Again, Boda Castro, we'll go to your stream, and you can tell us all kind of what to be informed about. I appreciate it, though. Okay, you're bad at logic. Okay, Ukraine hit Moscow over 100 times as well-informed friends. Okay, cool. All right, again, so no one can name a country that went to the Middle East. Again, you guys are all so informed and so intelligent. Like, let me know. What's the country? What country's doing well? Okay, again, I'm waiting. Come on, Boda Castro, you can't stop talking. Like, what? Name a country. Is there one? Again, we're going to liberate Iran. They're going to be better off for it. I'm waiting. Is Iran going to become Abu Dhabi? You know, is Syria going to become Kuwait? You know, is Lebanon going to become Jordan? Like, again, these countries are not the same. You know, it's just we do not make this situation better. We make it worse. But it feels good to say they're going to greet us as liberators. We're going to make it better. We're going to free the Syrian people. We're going to free and free and free and free. And that's not what happens, guys. History doesn't support it, okay? Okay, it'll become greater Israel, 100%. And this is exactly what's happening. So again, Mike Huckabee gave the play away when he was talking about how essentially Israel is entitled to the bulk of the Middle East. And this is what everybody thinks, and we're not allowed to talk about it here in America, you know, and this is what's happening. And I don't think it's great, but it is what it is. And again, I didn't think Donald Trump would support this kind of stuff, but he is 100% on board with it. And I'm tired of paying for it. I'm tired of creating death and destruction and not creating a better place for these people when we go over there and liberate them. We don't liberate them. We make it all worse. And again, if we made it better, I'd be in support of it. But that's just not what happens. The data doesn't support any of that happening. So, all right, keep going into comments. I appreciate everyone hanging on the stream. If you're in the stream, hit the like button, add the discussion. And again, I'm going to give you guys probably 7 more minutes. I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate anyone that has, again, added discussion, anyone that subscribes, anyone that likes this kind of content where we're talking about current events. I talk about running a business. I talk about making furniture. I show you guys how to paint. I show you guys how to work with metal. I show you guys all kinds of things about a real small business. So I'm not a content creator on YouTube relying on content to make money, right? I actually have a real business where we do real work and we hire real Americans, and YouTube is just something that we kind of do for fun. All right, and it works into what's called the like, know, and trust factor. If you guys want to know how to run a business, that's one thing that's very important to understand. All right, some non-Jewish guy, tiny hats, big problems. We got Christian Medwid 852. Americans have actually never won a war. World War II was all the Soviet Union. Soviet Union was a big help. And again, a lot of people don't like talk about. A lot of people are hoodwinked about what World War II was really about. And yeah, I think as we move further and further away from World War II, and we're able to have access to AI and places like X, we're able to get more information about what really was going on during World War II and what the conflicts were really about. Like, go back and listen to Hitler's speeches, guys. I know you're not supposed to talk about Hitler. Go back and listen to his speeches when they're put into English, right? And you're going to hear a lot of the same rhetoric today. Like, it's wild how similar it is to what that guy was saying about specific groups of people and specific treaties that were signed back then and how it relates to what's happening today. It's wild, So again, but I don't know, you guys probably never do. You just you let other people tell you, what to believe and what to think, which is no good. Okay, but yeah, Christian Medwide 852, man, I think you're 100% right. And again, people need to go read about World War II and go get on X. Don't listen to the talking heads, guys. Don't listen to the so-called experts. There's a lot of information out there. Okay, I don't think so. Iran is not what you think. Okay, who's this? ELM439. I appreciate being here, dude. Let me know what you're saying there. I'm curious what you mean by that. Okay, none. See, where are the Free Palestine people? Yeah, those people are all gone, man. Okay, Lone Wolf and Cub. Again, those guys all got decimated. I mean, again, there's no Palestine left. There's no Gaza left. And again, the people here, remember they started throwing them out of the country. They started putting them in jail. A lot of these places made it impossible for you to say anything bad about Israel, but they would consider it to be anti-Semitism. Because again, they don't want to parse out Jews and Israel. It's nothing but, they're supposed to be one and the same, which is not accurate at all. Got tons of Jewish clients. I know tons of Jewish people. They do not think the way that they think in Israel. They are not, a hegemony, right? It's, it's what happens in reality is vastly different than what you guys are seeing in the news today, what you see in media. Okay, let's see. Marcus, no, we've got Janky Hitbox, man. Great name. Thanks for being here. Okay, did Israel even say thank you? No, Israel never says thank you. Never, not once. It's all expected. We basically gave them the country that they wanted after World War II. We could have literally brought them all to America and said, no country for you. But again, America gave them what they wanted, and we've been supporting them ever since. And again, we've been giving them money ever since. And we've been letting them fuck with the entire Middle East ever since. I don't know why. We have no interest over there. But for some reason, we're super interested in this little tiny place the size of New Jersey with, nearly 10 million people in it. It's very, very odd. Okay. Let's see. We got Anthony Lackey in here. Okay, you look hungry. I am hungry, man. I've been talking here for damn near 2.5 hours. I need to get some breakfast. My wife's probably wondering, what the hell is he down there talking about? Sean Finn, I actually agree with you, but seeing you pop and say, fuck it, is funny. Relax, man. Talk about the lamp. No, I'm not going to talk about the lamp, man. I talk about the lamp all the time. You guys followed me for a long time. I always tell you guys how much I love Christmas. I love Christmas Story. I love the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Four Christmases. I love all the movies. I love the music. I love Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Mariah Carey, Michael Bublé. I love all of it. So I'm political. Okay, Lone Wolf. Okay, can you show us where the Free Palestine people are? I can't find them anywhere. Yeah, they're all gone, man. Trump administration crushed that shit. Christian Medwid 852, define real Americans. Stupid statement, hiring real Americans. No, it simply means you're not hiring illegal labor. Like what? Again, if you're a visa holder, I'll consider you to be a real American. If you don't have a visa, there you go. Okay, so maybe my statement is not perfect. My bad. Okay, so anyway, I'm one of these people that thinks you kick all the illegals out, every one of them. And then when you turn your head and let 2.5 million in every year, there's an accountability, right, which is what Donald Trump was supposed to be, right? When you just look the other way because you can hire tons of illegal labor. It's good for your voter base. It's good for, a lot of things. Again, somebody comes in and says, we're going to kick all these fucking people out. Now suddenly everyone's like, oh my God, process. Oh, we care about the rules. Wait a minute. And just wild hypocrisy on that whole issue. So, okay, Sam Witzig 793. What about China and North Korea? They're not too happy about Zionism. Again, what can China say? Like, we built China. We propped China up. They're not going to do anything. They've got no interest in the Middle East either. It's not, that is actually inaccurate. They probably have more interest in the Middle East than we do, if I'm being completely honest, right? They also have a big interest in Russia, right, which is where they get a lot of their natural resources. China is not actually a very natural resource-rich country, which is kind of odd, to be quite honest with you. But they get a lot of their stuff from Russia, but they probably get a lot of stuff from the Middle East too. So, but yeah, North Korea, again, I don't know, you don't hear anything about North Korea, right? And it's because North Korea has nukes, right? You can't go fuck with those guys like we used to. Everyone just leaves them alone. Iran's never come after Americans. Iran never will come after Americans. It's only when we put our people over there and start fucking with them that they, again, bring your Navy over there. Oh, good, Americans are in trouble. Like, we got a base over there in Qatar. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, pull these people out of there. Let them come home. We need labor here. We need people to do work here. We got all kinds of jobs. We could put all these people to work, but we're not doing it. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, does the left still not want to globalize the Intifada? Yeah, boy, everyone's kind of lost their shit on that one. Kevin Space, 59th. Kevin Space, glad you're here, dude. Okay, you don't know what you are talking about. Okay, well, Kevin Space, I appreciate you being here, man. Again, you guys don't have to like my point of view. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just a normal dude. I'm just a normal business owner, but I get on here, I talk. People like to listen. We go back and forth. And I think people like the engagement. I like the engagement. It works out great. So, all right, lies. We got Alpha Countach, man. Great name, Alpha Countach. I'm a freaking car guy. I love Lamborghini, man. What a cool company. Like, the history of that company is amazing, right? And Countach probably knows, but again, the guy that was a Lucio, I forget what his first name was, created Lamborghini because he was pissed at Ferrari, and that's awesome. Like, he's like, fuck you, I'm gonna make a better car. And he did, right? Lamborghini had the best advertisement I've ever heard of. Like, if you guys ever have to do advertising, like, do some research on these guys. So they traded out with an ad. They said you buy a Ferrari if you want to be somebody, right? You buy a Lamborghini if you are somebody. It was fucking great. It was such a good ad. Oh my God, like, it was gold. So anyway, great name, dude. Okay, Alpha Broadcast. We did not support Israel until Carter in the 70s. Okay, we've supported Israel since the day they were in existence, my friend. Okay, Benjamin Ross, 5611. This guy's an idiot. All right, Papson, greatest president of our lifetime. Cool, man. Big Block. It's the lamp. Hell yeah, man. Everyone loves the lamp. The lamp draws people in, I can tell. Okay, brother, you're so off. In reality, your support for Israel. We should not make confident searches on topics you know little about. Okay, man. Well, guys, I gave you 150 minutes today. I think that's fantastic. I'll probably do more streams about this topic as this war continues. So we'll have to kind of see what's going to happen. Is America just going to go in there and lay its dick on the country of Iran and then get out? Or is Iran going to create a lot of shit? Are there going to be American casualties? Is Israel going to end up nuking this place? Like, we don't know what's going to happen, which is crazy. We just have no idea. And I don't think it's good, man. I think Trump's been a wild disappointment as a president, and it makes me really sad because I know that the alternative would have been worse. So again, the American citizen can't win. Like, we're in a lot of trouble, and it is what it is. So I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And again, today I'm doing what's in the shop. I'll show you guys what we got going on in the shop today. And again, I got my CNC router I'm building right now, so I'll show you guys the CNC router going on and how that's being all put together. And we'll show you guys I got serpentine dressers. I got lots of furniture and final assembly. We're taking apart some old historic tables. We're rebuilding some tables for a guy who they're from Charles Lindbergh. So I got all kinds of fun shit to show you guys in the shop today. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Last couple comments, and I'm out of here. Okay, Alpha's in the room. It's a lie. Run away. Okay, Christian Wed 853. You should ask your congressmen and senators why they all take AIPAC money and military industry. Again, it's all of them too. So Christian Wed, you got some great comments too, but I don't know what you do, man. AIPAC runs our influences all of our congress people. So okay, love him. Debate me live. All right, later, dude. I'll tell you guys later.